Yep. Nay. Anyone out there? Anyone listening? If not, well, I understand. Let's see if I'm Okay, well, yeah, soundtrack is fine. No one's here yet, though, but that's all right. Maybe somebody will show up. Maybe. Maybe they won't. But we'll find out, though. We'll find out, won't we? Well, jeez, just getting I'm getting triggered by Twitter tonight. Hopefully, you're all there. Let's see. Go on. I'm just posting some notifications here, my friends. Sorry, but we are up and running now. Whoa. Okay. Sorry. So sorry about that, everyone. Just getting some taking care of some business here, real quick. Going live. We are, in fact, not only going live, we are live right now. So good. Well, welcome everyone. What I'm going to do is I'm just I hope someone shows up. Eastland. All right, Eastland Burkholder, my great new friend here, a great friend of the show now, who has been with me since the beginning. I am always honored to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, Clobberin Times, issue number 10. Actually, 710 to be precise, on our Saturday night comics convo. That's what we do on Saturday nights. Right now, we'll be doing some other things. RR's here. All right, RR. Yeah, all right. All right, my friends, I'm so glad you're here. I hope some other friends will pop in, but it doesn't matter. I got two great pals right now. Two, again, friends that I've only known you guys since the beginning of my YouTube days, but man, I'm honored and I'm glad to have you here. And I truly appreciate it. Seeing you guys pop in there. Thank you so much. Yes, we're live. And I love superheroes, and we're about to get on talking about them a little bit. As you see on the screen there, that's a terrible picture, unfortunately, because the resolution's horrible. It's old. It's from 1990, Atlanta Fantasy Fair, 1990, August of 1990. I just turned turning 26 years old. I was just a young lad. And thank you so much, Eastland. I appreciate that. And since tonight's topic this is relevant to tonight's topic, on my Facebook page, which is, of course, called Clobberin Times Baxter Building Basement. If any of you do Facebook, please join my group because I have a lot of fun in there. Every year on that, and every year in August, it's not only my birth month, but it's the birth month of the greatest creative force of the 20th century, in my opinion. That is, of course, the gentleman you see standing next to me. Yes, I guess I'm tall. Or, Jack wasn't that tall, was he? But he was taller than me in every other way. That is, of course, the legendary, the great Jack Kirby. And there he is right there. Hail to the king, baby. And since I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, just comics, of course, are a favorite subject, and superheroes, there are other types of comic books. Absolutely. I love the art form. But my favorite genre is the superhero genre. It always has been. I love it. And so every month in my Baxter Building Basement group and on my show Clobberin Time, and it's going to be that way this month too, a lot of it. It's called Jack Kirby Month. Now also, the creator of one of the greatest television shows ever, the great Gene Roddenberry, was also born in August. So I was born in the same month with two of the greatest. I'm blessed that way, I suppose. Yeah, it's just I think if you look for Clobberin Times, Baxter Building Basement, or anything like that, you should be able to find it. Or if you go look for Mike Alonzo and friend me on Facebook, I'll get you to there. Almighty Sports Show. Rich, my good friend, and other pals popped in. great to see you, my friend. Longtime friend from my blog talk radio days. So, buddy, I am so glad to see you here. And since we're going to be talking about superheroes tonight, I had to put that picture up because it's also the beginning. Today is the beginning of Jack Kirby month for Clobberin time. Be celebrating the King all month. And this, even though this is a celebration of many other heroes, I just thought it fitting to show this picture and to kick this month off, celebrating my top 50 all-time favorite superheroes or comic book heroes. Not all of them have superpowers, but they are heroes in one form or another. And why not celebrate the guy who was the greatest at creating them? And before I get started, when I was at this con here that you're seeing this picture from, little anecdote. I've talked about this before. I've mentioned it before, but just in case none of you heard it, and it's relevant to the topic tonight. The great Julius Schwartz, legendary editor for DC Comics and big time Superman editor, who I was also a big fan of, was at this con. It was one of the first of a few times I was able to meet him, and we were at a some award ceremony at the show, and Jack, of course, was there. Jack and Julius Schwartz. I think Julius Schwartz was emceeing it, and he was announcing Jack, and he introduced Jack Kirby this way. And I think this is relevant to what we're doing here tonight. He said, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created Superman. Bob Kane and Bill Finger created Batman. And then Jack Kirby did everything else. Now, obviously, the kind of guy Jack Kirby was, he would never have, he was nice about, he didn't come out there and argue. He was just a great, humble guy. He would probably say there were a lot of other people who did a lot of other things. And it's true. But if you think about it, almost all the greatest superheroes, certainly the entire Marvel pantheon, it's all Kirby. Yes, it's Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and other people as well. But Kirby's that driving force behind it. So, yeah, before I was 2 years old, I fell in love with superheroes thanks to Adam West and other things. And, of course, the thing that really, the work of Jack Kirby solidified it, made it even more special as I grew a fondness and a love for his stuff over the years. In the 80s, I was, of course, running a comic shop, and I later owned my own comic shop. I became such a fan of Kirby, even more so. Then when I got older, I studied everything there was to study about the Jack Kirby, his life, and about his conflict with Marvel and Stan Lee and things like that. And one day we will do some shows where we talk a lot about that, and trigger a lot of people who don't like to hear things about Stan Lee that they don't like to hear. But that's not for tonight. Tonight, we'll kick off Jack Kirby month by talking about something that Jack loved and that Jack was instrumental. Without Jack Kirby, we're not having a conversation tonight about superheroes. The industry would not have flourished. Would there have still been superheroes at some point, in some way? Possibly, but what they would be, I don't know. I can tell you one thing. They wouldn't have generated billions upon billions of dollars for big corporations via movies or comics or merchandise or anything. Without Kirby, none of that would have happened. And so I don't think superheroes would be as deeply ensconced in our pop culture as they are without the great Jack Kirby. Other people too, for sure. And he was so much more than an artist. And the 2 times I got to spend, as I've always said, I know I go on about meeting him, but those 2 times were the greatest geek experiences of my life. And he and his wonderful wife, Roz, were amazing. First time I met him, I got to buy some original art from him, a couple of pieces. And the second time, I just got to hang out with him and talk to him for hours. Great guy. And, so we dedicate this show the entire month, even if we talk about other topics, all dedicated all year round, of course, but especially this month, Jack, who was born August 28th, 1917, born Jakob Kurtzberg, Well, this is for you, Jack. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jack Kirby. You brought more joy to a universe than you could ever know. And Jack Kirby will live on forever. His creations will live on forever. His ideas, his concepts, his wonderful art will live on forever. Love him. Okay, I got sentimental there on you guys. Sorry. When it comes to Kirby, that's just the way I am, though. He really did. RR, that's absolutely true. He was, he. I'm sorry, where am I? I went to the wrong side there. Sorry, I was having a little bit of technical screw up right there. He's amazing. He is a genius. He's a legend, and yes, love him. So true, RR. So true about that. So, what we're going to do tonight, I don't know what. Maybe do this. But on Facebook, people look. We all bitch about Facebook and Twitter. Twitter's a cesspit. I go on there because there's some nice people that I do interact with on Twitter. It's garbage, but that doesn't mean everybody on it is garbage, and it isn't. It has its drawbacks, but as far as as a technological construct, it has its pluses too. It's how it's used, and it's not used very well. And I actually have a good time on Facebook because I just use it for geeking out. I know a lot of people bitch about it, and of course I don't. I find big tech, what they're doing right now, and I find Zuckerberg, all those people scum, of course. But I'm talking about the people that it allows you to interact with, friends, family, things like that. So that's what I get out of Facebook more than anything else. And I always like to post my geekness on my own personal page and on my Baxter Building basement page. People say he was a great person to encourage others to value. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He built some of the conventions. Yeah, in fact, yeah, he absolutely did. I mean, he created a lot of the idioms, the superhero idioms you see there. Absolutely. So I have fun on there. And this week, I just, for the hell of it, I was bored. I was working my ass off, long shifts, busting I was really tired. And you know how you might play with your phone a little bit, and they got all this. Look, it's not a phone. By the way, speaking of Kirby, that thing you got in your pocket that is called a smartphone, Jack Kirby nailed it with the fourth world. It's called a mother box. Latino Slant, my great friend Paulie. Good to see you there, my friend. Thank you. All right, good. Thanks for showing up, Kimosabi. Talking a little Kirby, about to start talking a little superheroes. But that thing you have in your pocket right now, that computer, that supercomputer that has a phone app on it, it's not a phone. It's a computer with a phone app. If you have what they call a quote-unquote smartphone, you may have a flip phone or something, but if you have a smartphone, quote-unquote, that's a supercomputer. And Jack Kirby predicted it in 1970 with with his fourth world. It's called a mother box. That's what you got on your pocket. If you got an Android or an iPhone, it's a mother box. It's got a phone app, and it's got a zillion other things, and it's a supercomputer that allows you access to all the information of the world at your fingertips and instantaneously. It is a mother box. Jack Kirby, just like Star Trek was so prescient and all the things it predicted, and it did kind of this. Jack Kirby, this is Kirby month, like I said. He came up with it. That's what you're holding. That's why I call it a mother box. I don't call it a phone. This is my mother box. It's a silly name, and no one will understand what you're calling it that, so you have to say your phone. But around geeks, I'll call it my mother box. Well, that tablet, Eastland, is a mother box also. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. I really appreciate it. And so anyway, when I went on Facebook, on my page and on my group, I just started making these little, I decided these little squares of 5 and put my favorite superheroes in order. I split from the beginning in order, just ranking them like I did before. A few years ago, my great friend Flash, who was my sometimes and hope soon he'll be back soon, my co-pilot on my old show, and hopefully he'll be back here again. He's only been here once, but he's been busy. He couldn't make it the other night, but he'll be back. Flash and I used to do lists all the time. We would count down our favorite top 25 favorite this or that Star Trek episodes, movies, you name it. And we did superheroes or comic book heroes one night, many years ago. So I did on my Facebook page. I would do every couple hours. I would put a picture of 5 and put them in order. I started from the beginning. I didn't count down because I wasn't really planning it, and it became a thing for the past week and a half. And I did 100. I did my top 100 favorite heroes. Tonight I'm just going to go 50 on down, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a little bit of fun. Anyway, people commented on it. One friend gave me some shit over it, of course, because he thought after I got like into the 60s, he said, "You're just reaching trying to make 100." No, if they're on that 100, they're a character I'm a fan of. Is somebody in the 50s or the hundreds as important to me as the guys in the top 10 or 20? Of course not. But I still really have a lot of regard. If they're on that top 100, they're a character I have a lot of regard for and I'm a fan of. So I'm going to start from 50 down and just talk about these characters a little bit. Because I'm sure there's absolutely no suspicion. I mean, there's no suspense about who my number 1 is, in case you guys can't see the hint. Anyone who knows me, and some of you know me for a short time, some in cases of others, I doubt there's any suspense on who my number 1 is, but it's 50 through number 2, in the order. I don't know if it'll surprise you that much, but bear in mind, I've read comic books for almost 50 years. I love them. I love Marvel and DC, and there are going to be some very obscure ones. I didn't count which had the most, Marvel or DC, but there are a couple of characters from other companies, but most of the list is Marvel and DC. I need to count it one day, the whole 100. But all right, got to get started here. Just talk about these freaking superheroes. Because we want superheroes around here. Kind of guys we are. I'm going to start with 50 on down. And my number 50 favorite comic book hero. They're not all superheroes, but they are heroes. Some of them don't have power. Some of them are different types of beings. They're not costume adventurers, all of them, but they are comic book heroes with their origins in comic books. There are only a couple that have their origins are in comic books, comic strips, but they also have a presence in comic books. But all of them originated in comics, and 99% of them in comic books. There are 2 comic strip characters in there, in the 100. But anyway, number 50 will be Swamp Thing. What you see here, of course, is the Bernie Wrightson classic Swamp Thing depicted. And because I love him, he's a great character. This, of course, Lynn Wein and Bernie Wrightson's creation for Swamp Thing. And later, Alan Moore revamped him a little bit. Retconned him, if you will. But not to his detriment. It was, what Alan Moore did, and it was really one of the first. It was certainly his first American work, or series-wise. And what he did with Swamp Thing did not take away. It was a little bit. And again, I won't spoil it because you should read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, especially the first. If you get like trades or whatever, the first 3 or 4 years of it, he did it for many years. Brilliant stuff. Swamp Thing's comics, the original. Which is the original by Lynn Wein and Bernie Wrightson, is a masterpiece. And then later it got canceled. It got brought back. Different artists. Nestor Redondo was an okay artist, but it didn't do very well. Then it got brought back when DC had the first Swamp Thing movie made. I'm sure you remember it. Tony! Oh my God, ladies! All right, guys, straighten up. We have a beautiful woman amongst us. We're talking. She's going to be mad at me in a few minutes, but right now I love her and she still loves me until a few minutes. This is Tony. I call her Wonder Woman. I've known her for many, many years. And she is my dear, wonderful friend who I just adore. And she hates my guts, or she will in a few minutes. She is wonderful, though. Mark C. And I agree with you there, Mark C. My good friend Mark C. has popped in. Thank you for being here. Yep. Well, I agree with you. Wrightson and Stephen Bissett are the only ones that I count, Mark. But anyway, if you have not checked out, well, of course, get the Wein and Wrightson issues, of course, or trade of that, yes. But also Alan Moore's and we'll go through a lot of these characters quickly, but Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, especially his first few years, there are plenty of trades on them. Brilliant, great stuff. He revamped the character somewhat. He changed some things, not so much changed, but he added some things. But still, great stuff. I remember when it first came out. I was running a comic shop at the time and couldn't get enough of it. Man, I became a more freak. For everyone who's just arriving, we talk about how this is Jack Kirby month. We'll be celebrating Jack Kirby all month, and can't think of a better way to do it than talk about my favorite superheroes. This is my top 50 favorite superheroes. We just started with number 50, Swamp Thing. My number 49 is Timberwolf. And we don't have to go too far into it. A lot of you may not know who he is. He is, of course, a member of the Legion of Superheroes. His name is Bryn Londo. If you'll note the way he looks here, drawn by, I believe it's a Dave Cockrum rendition. Oh, the artist edition of that. Oh, damn, I'm envious there, Mark. Artist edition of Wrights and Swamp Thing. Amazing, man. Wonder Woman, I love you. I hope you're still here. So I'm just so happy that you stopped in. You are wonderful. A beautiful woman. Timberwolf's a member of the Legion of Superheroes. I am a huge fan of the Legion of Superheroes. For those of you who don't know, I love them. There's a lot of Legionnaires throughout my 100, but since we're only going 50 down tonight, there's still going to be some Legionnaires in there. Timberwolf is a great character. Shout out to my old buddy Abby. He may not be here right now, but it's his favorite Legionnaire. Bryn Londo, without going too many, he originally was called Lone Wolf. And if you see this look, it does predate Wolverine. Let me just tell you. And of course, I don't need to go that far into him because we're going to move on to the next one. But I love him and I love the Legion. And we'll be talking about the Legion a little bit on and off tonight. Number 48, Martian Manhunter, John Jones. You see a nice Perez rendition right there. God, I love him. Paulie asked, do I like the movie version, John Carpenter's? John Carpenter, if you mean John Carpenter's The Thing? Which film do you refer to? I do love John Carpenter's The Thing. Very much. And I love his Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China as well. Those are, with no particular order, those are my favorite John Carpenter films. And I do love They Live as well. After that, some of the other ones are okay, but yeah. I love Martian Manhunter, though. John Jones originally arrived on Earth and became a detective under the auspices of Mr. Detective John Smith, I believe it was. And, of course, became a member of the JLA, a valued member. Love him. He's had some good character arcs. He's been with the group. Who did Swamp Thing? Well, Lin Wein and Bernie Wrightson created him in his original series there, Paulie. And Wes Craven did the Swamp Thing film, though. Oh, okay, the movie, I see, yeah, like Mark put there. That was the first, Wes Craven did the film with Adrienne Barbeau, and who was the most wonderful thing about that movie, in my opinion, but I'm sick that way. So John Jones, and I think, one of the greatest characterizations of John Jones, in my opinion, I don't know if anyone here agrees, but was on the Justice League Bruce Timm Paul Dini cartoon of the Bruce Timm cartoon, Timmverse, on Cartoon Network of the mid-aughts, of the mid-2000s, early 2000s rather. Great cartoon, and John Jones is really amazing on there, so I love him. Oh yeah, gotta love her. But I agree with Mark C. The Return of Swamp Thing was terrible. 47 is Hawkeye. Clint Barton started out as kind of a baddie, as many of you know. And I like this John Byrne rendition right here. Some of the best, Avengers issues with with Hawkeye. Swamp Thing. With Hawkeye, of course, were of course in the late 70s or everything. He's a great character. I love that costume. And there've been a couple. Again, he's had his own series here and there, and miniseries, things like that. He's just a great character all around. What about him on the new Supergirl show? I watched the first season of that Wonder Woman, and I didn't like the show very much. I really liked the guy playing John Jones, Martian Manhunter. He was really cool, and I kept wanting them to do good things with him. And on balance, they didn't do enough with him for me, but he was good. I mean, I like that actor for sure. And this is a great burn drawing of Hawkeye. You know, one of the best characterizations of Hawkeye, certainly outside of comics, was a show that we're going to be doing a whole show about soon, called Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Great cartoon. The Marvel equivalent to the Bruce Timm Justice League cartoon for the Avengers, in my opinion. Only lasted 2 years. Damn it, love it. Hawkeye's fantastic on that show. And now rounding out the beginning five at 45 is a character that I love dearly, and I love a woman who loves this character even more because she's right here with us. She is Wonder Woman. This is a Neil Adams Wonder Woman right here. I almost thought it was a Garcia Lopez, but it's an Adams with the Dick Giordano inking. Looks like. What can you say about Wonder Woman? There's so many female characters that were created later as knockoffs of their male counterparts, Batman and Superman, and all these people like that, and Spider Woman. You know, you end up with like a Supergirl, a Batgirl, and a Spider Woman and things, which I love them all. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I like them. But Wonder Woman is the original female superhero, and she is, I mean, forget the fact that we as boys, fell in love with her as Linda Carter, which is really, before that, I'd only seen her in a couple of comics and on Super Friends. So yes, Linda Carter really made a lot of people who hadn't read her comics that much fall in love with the character. There's no question about it. She is wonderful, and one of the great things about Wonder Woman is she's right there, right in lockstep with Superman and Batman as the DC Trinity. I love her. I love her to death, but yeah, look, you got to understand Wonder Woman, Tony. Most comic book readers started as young boys reading comic books. And when we were young boys, we liked the girl characters. We grew up loving, but we were always about the male characters. We wanted, all my favorite characters were guys for the most part. But Chris Persia, thank you for being here. All right, thank you. I'm glad to see you there. But I love her dearly, and nothing could take the love away from her. But all my favorites, were boy characters because I grew up as a young boy wanting to read boy comics. But I bought the Wonder Woman comics sometimes. Now my friend Mark C said he's a big fan of the George Perez run. I love the art on that one, but I was on and off with that series. It was good. So I told you she'd be mad at me. It was good, but I like some of the, I don't know what he did kind of with some of the Greek mythology stuff. I don't know. Good to see you there, Chris. All right. Oh, don't be mad at me now. You know I love her. 24/7. What's up, buddy? Good to see you there, my friend. Now, and here we go with all right, man. Oh, so many great people are popping in. All right, man. Good to see you, buddy. 44. Believe me, their characters, look, if they're in the top 100, I love them. Now, by the way, the ultimate Wonder Woman expert is here. That's Tony that you're seeing. She is, I call her Wonder Woman. I call her that, by the way. She is Wonder Woman. If you've ever seen her, she's fantastically beautiful. And, well, she loves Wonder Woman, and she's the ultimate authority. She likes the Greek mythology stuff very much. She loves it. So she loves the Perez run. One day she needs to come on this show and talk about her favorite Wonder Woman comics. Because I've had more than a few guys tell me they like Wonder Woman, but they never really found very many story arcs that they liked her in. They just loved the character as far as the comic writing is concerned. And she's read them all. You want to do a Wonder Woman show? It's on. If you want to, of course. I'd love to have you on here to do it. Tony L. And yes, she's really Diana Prince. I have outed her secret identity. Thanks, Paulie. Appreciate it, man. And again, I want to thank 24/7 again, who sat and rode with me the other night. I had a marvelous time talking about comics, buddy. It was wonderful. Thank you. It was just great, man. You know your stuff, buddy. We'll do it again as well. 44, Ultra Boy. And again, this will show you how flexible you have to be sometimes. I can love a character and still think he has probably the stupidest origin in the history of comic books. And the dumbest name in the history of comic books. Not Ultra Boy, his real name. My 24/7 has a huge Wonder Woman collection. Excellent. So Ultra Boy. Oh, there you go. I don't. I wonder if Wonder Woman. Did you read that one? Wonder Woman Year One by Rucka and Nicholas Scott. I wonder if she's read that one. I have to ask her if she heard me. If maybe she did. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks for the sub, man. Joe Na is his name. His origin. Oh God, I can't remember if it was Shooter or not. He got his superpowers. Look, it was the '60s, guys. I'm making an excuse, but it was the '60s. He got his superpowers by being. Oh, geez, I can't even say it, man. For those of you who don't know, brace yourself. If you don't know Ultra Boy's origin, please forgive what I'm about to do to you. Please forgive me up front. Ultra Boy, whom a character I love, incidentally. Look how high he is on my list. And this is high. And Carlos, who was here with me last week, would be mad at him for having him that low. People get mad at you when you make these lists. He was flying a spaceship, which got swallowed by a space whale / space dragon. His name is Joe Na. And that's how he got his powers. Excuse me. Nevertheless, look at the costume. It's a great costume. He's a great member of the Legion of Superheroes, which I love, as you know. And he has the equivalent powers to Superboy, but he can only use one power at a time. And I love him. I believe it was Shooter that did that one. I could be wrong. He created a lot of Legionnaires back then. Sorry if I got it wrong. I may have been Eben Hamilton. I'm just drawing a blank. I haven't checked lately. 43. Nicholas Fury. Nick Fury is he's not a superhero, but he's a Marvel hero. For those of you who do not know, he was originally, when he was created, by the great Jack Kirby with help from Stan Lee. And this is a Kirby, a Steranko drawing you're seeing right here. Great Steranko was one of the great artists on the book. He was created as a tough Jewish kid from Hell's Kitchen who made it big in the spy game, and actually after fighting in World War II. It was only later with the Ultimates, the comic books, the Ultimates, which was an alternate universe for Marvel Comics. He should have been played by Kurt Russell. Damn straight, sir. That he was changed into a black gentleman, as you know. And later, the story is that they based him visually on Samuel L. Jackson. And then Samuel L. Jackson, I guess, because he said, well, okay, I think they asked him. I don't know if this is true or not. You have to check it. I don't know. But apparently he said, okay, but you got to let me play him if you ever make a movie. You know, Samuel L. Jackson's a big geek like the rest of us. And by the way, I love the Samuel L. Jackson Fury in the MCU. It's fine. He's great. You know, but I way before that ever happened, I was a big fan. I loved Nick Fury. Check out. Oh man, I got one of those I got the Nick Fury omnibus. It has just about all of it in there, all the great stuff. It's got all the Kirby and the Steranko stuff. I got it cheap a while back. Great stuff. So now I'm gonna have to this, and it won't take long explaining this next one. 42 is as you see up here. A lot of you may not recognize this character, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on him. He's called No Man, and that is No and Man. Yes, No Man is his name. He's a member of the Thunder Agents, which was a wonderful series of comics created right after Marvel had really started hitting their stride, their heyday in the early 60s. Wally Wood and a guy named John Tower, it was. Leonard Brown, a few other people had created a line of comics called the Thunder Agents. And again, one day I'll talk all about them. They're really great. They're in the public domain right now. They've never been successful. I love them. And a lot of people love some of those great issues, those old issues of Tower Comics by Wally Wood and other people, Ditko, other people are great. Well, No Man is this is an aging scientist. He was in his 80s. His body was dying. He developed a body and an ability to transfer his mind into this robot body, very similar to like the Vision. He was way before the Vision. It's a robot, powerful body, and every time he's got tons of them on hand. And when one is destroyed, he transfers his mind into another body. The recent Thunder Agent story, yeah, there you go. I didn't get a chance to see that yet. I'm about to look for that. You talking about, was that with IDW, Mark? The last one? I don't know. Anyway, Thunder Agents are great, though. You now see number 41. Dr. Stephen Strange. Do I really need to go into who Dr. Strange is? Of course not. Nice Ditko rendition right here. Love him. Interesting thing about Dr. Strange is a lot of people don't. I mean, again, of course, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, but really by Steve Ditko. Stan Lee did not like Dr. Strange when he was, I'm talking early on. He didn't want to keep doing it. The only reason you see Doctor Strange right here, because, and in movies, and in his existence, that he exists at all. Yeah, I love Frank Brunner's amazing. Was that readers were, got all up in their grill about it. They were all over Marvel about continuing the character, bringing him back. And they didn't, Lee didn't like it. He didn't know how to write him. He didn't know what to do with him. He was magic. And so all of Doctor Strange is Ditko. He says not really a hero or a bad guy. He's a hero. He's a total hero, I think he is. He fights evil. That's all it counts in this book to get on this list. And he hangs out with superheroes, no less. So I think he's a good guy. We got another Legionnaire now. 44, 40, 42, 41. So how's the place, right? 40. This Legionnaire, again, won't go too far into it. We'll get moving quick. Pharaoh Lad is his name. I don't know if you're familiar with him. An interesting story about Pharaoh Lad is he was created by Jim Shooter, who created a lot of Legionnaires. He is, of course, when he joined the Legion, he wore this helmet all the time because he was a mutant and he had a deformed face. And would never show his face. And he never showed his face. And that was part of the plot. Well, he was supposed to show his face. And Jim Shooter, this was the mid-'60s, mind you, somewhere up in there, wanted to make him the DC's first black superhero. And he wanted, when the mask came off, to reveal him as such. And it was the 30th century, so things like that should matter, of course. But still, this was the 60s. And when DC chicken shitted and wouldn't do it, Shooter got so pissed off, he wrote a story where this character heroically sacrificed himself, Andrew Nolan, Pharaoh Lad, to stop the Sun Eater from destroying the galaxy. And he was one of the first Legionnaires, if not the first, I'm drawing, maybe the first, to die as a hero. I love Pharaoh Lad. He's amazing. And he's not really that much like Iron Man, but he's Legion's Iron Man, yeah. And I guess in a sense you could say he is like that, but he has powers. But anyway, so I love that dude. I love that dude. Anyway, screw DC for being cowards. But what else is new, right? All right, 39 down to down the wire, down the line here. 39 is, of course, well, as you can see, I'm a huge Watchmen fan, Alan Moore fan in particular, in general, of course. I love Watchmen. And I love Dan Dreberg. I love the character. Now, obviously, some of these characters that are pastiches or knockoffs, he's really kind of meant to represent Blue Beetle in a sense, because as many of you know, Watchmen was intended to be the Carlton characters. Alan Moore was going to use those. Dick Giordano didn't want them screwed around with and deconstructed. So, which is great, by the way. I'm glad that Moore and Gibbons were forced to create their own characters. This is so much better. And Dan Dreberg is a great character. I mean, Rorschach's is everyone's favorite, and he's my favorite too. But yeah, I love Dreberg. He's just really amazing. And there he is. in all of his glory. I almost wanted to do that costume one time. I love Night Owl. Patrick Wilson did a really good job, in fact, I thought, of playing him in the film. And next up, we have, at 38, the Falcon, Sam Wilson. Great Kirby rendition there. Kirby was not actually his creator. It was actually Gene Colan, and it was Lee and Thomas, I think, people like that. Anyway, interesting enough, Captain America and the Falcon came to me as a package deal. When I first saw these characters, they were on on a Power Records that I got. Stone Boy, hey, don't spoil her, bud. Hey, no spoilers, Mark C. So the first comic I ever saw, Captain America, he was there with the Falcon, and I loved them both, man. And obviously, Cap did a lot of things on his own later. I've always loved Sam Wilson. I've always loved the Falcon. I love that costume. And when Captain America: The Winter Soldier was made, Anthony Mackie is just terrific. And when they put him, I mean, yes, he didn't have this costume or anything, but just seeing the Falcon running around with Cap in that movie is so fantastic for me. Love Mackie, love the Falcon, love this Kirby drawing, of course. It's amazing. Now we're going to move into the science fiction round at 37. With a lovely Murphy Anderson rendition of one of my favorites, of course, Adam Strange. Strange Adventures. Adam Strange is, and if we're going to talk about knockoffs, is he Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers pretty much for DC? Yeah. But what's the wonderful concept about Adam Strange is the Zeta Beam. Having to catch the Zeta Beam all the time, back and forth from Earth to Ran. It's just a wonderful concept. Half of me just aches for a movie to be made. The other half says, no, I don't want modern Hollywood getting their mitts on it at all. But imagine how great it could be. Done well. An Adam Strange film. By the way, Wonder Woman, if you're still here, give me a shout out. Even if you're just listening, babe. If not, I understand. "24/7, I'm going to send you a link on Twitter. If you feel like hanging. Yeah. So, there we go. Adam Strange. Yeah, great comic. Great. Anyway, let's go to the next one here. What's the number? Again, we're going on 36. 46. I'm sure you all recognize this gentleman, in his all of his Jim Starlin glory. The Kree Captain Marvel. In his second uniform, I love the old Kree outfit, the old Kree Captain outfit myself. But I love this one as well. I wanted to go with the Starlin rendition here from one of the classic covers. But need be said, Marvel wanted to jump on that copyright with the Fawcett Captain Marvel in dormancy, and they wanted to jump on there. And they did. They capitalized it. They kept trying to sell the series with Captain Marvel. It didn't take off. It kept getting canceled. It never really sold that well. And I'll never forget, I was working in the comic shop that I just helped started when they came out with the graphic novel, the very first Marvel graphic novel, not a trade paperback reprint. It's a true graphic novel called The Death of Captain Marvel. And I'll never forget how that thing shook me to my core. Great comic. Great book. And how you just had a superhero dying like anybody else. An alien, powerful superhero who was well known. He was popular amongst the other heroes. He never was a big seller. Never. But he was still a great character. And he was well loved by all the heroes. And they all went there to see him. And God, it was touching. It was such a really great story. If you have not read The Death of Captain Marvel, you could do a lot worse. So definitely you should pick it up. Cancer got him due to his negabands that gave him his powers. God, a great scene when the Skrulls, his mortal enemies, the Skrulls, came to visit him and pay honor to him in his death. When the lousy, filthy Kree wouldn't even show up and do it. I agree, Chris. He would have sold way better than Carol Danvers. With you there, buddy. And so next is Imperious Rex. John Buscema greatness there. Of Namor the Submariner, one possibly, if not, and possibly Marvel, yeah, not possibly, Marvel's oldest character. You go, is he on a list of heroes? Yes, because he has fought alongside he's fought alongside, of course, many superheroes. He's fought superheroes as well. He's all over the place. Is Namor the Submariner? No question about it. But Namor has fought alongside superheroes, and especially in World War II, when he fought with the All Winter Squad, later kind of retroactively called the Invaders. He's a hero. He's got his faults. It's what makes him such a great, complex character. And he's in his nobility. But don't get me wrong, he's a friggin' asshole too. Namor is a prick, man. He's one of those total jackass, which is why I love him. Just a great character, and he's so nuanced, and he's an absolute ass, and yet very well written over the years and stuff. So easily just one of my favorites. Great character there. Let's go on to the next batch, shall we? Yes. Now we're at. Let's see. Yeah, we're at 34. We're down to 30. I'm going to add my buddy of mine, my new friend, 24/7 is here with me. What do you say, partner?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, buddy. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you. How you? Man, I'm enjoying this.
Thanks, buddy. I'm having a little fun. I know it's just me being, an echoing myself here, but so I doubt anybody's interested in this stuff. But I love talking superheroes, so I'm happy someone else is.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I'm sitting here listening to your countdown, and I got something I got to show you.
Lay it on me.
All right. Just came in today. Remember I told you last time I spoke to you that some stuff was supposed to be coming in?
Yes.
Look what just came in the mail, man.
Oh, so I love that costume. I mean, yeah, I represented with the Starlin. God, I think that's a Barry Smith cover. Before he was called Barry Windsor Smith, but I'm not sure. But God, that was when he was kind of in his Kirby phase. But I could be wrong. But I love it, dude. That's amazing, man. And I love the Kree costume.
Yeah, and like I say, this thing is wow. Scoop that up right along with this.
Now Mark C's giving me static. I'm not going to please anybody with this list. Ruben Flagg, dude, come on, man. You can do better than that. Greatness, the first issue of the Baxter Titan series with Nightwing in his disco Nightwing outfit. I pissed off Robert Greenberger, DC Comics editor, about this comic at a con and in that year, right when it came out. I was really pissed about them changing him to Nightwing. I wanted him to be the Earth 2 Robin like that, where he would be an adult Robin. I'm childish, but what can I tell you? And I
agree. They say that you never know. In the near future,
Dick
Grayson might come back to being Robin once again. Who knows?
You never know. Well, I asked Greenberger. I raised my hand. He was taking questions. I said, "When are you going to get Robin out of that stupid negligee, man?" And he goes, "That what? What does he call it?" I was like, "Dude, it sucks. I hate it. What can I do?" Oh, yeah. Well, Nick, that's a Nick Hardy cover. Love it. And probably is. He did a lot of Titans, but love it, man. Dude, you got some great stuff there, dude.
Yeah, man.
Doc Savage and the Shadow don't count, Mark. They're not comic book characters. They've been in comics, but they originated in a different medium. Sorry, buddy. So I love them, but they don't count. There you go. That was when Garcia Lopez Titans. Yep. Nice.
Yeah, it's man, like I say, I got the Teen Titans for like $4. That for that auction.
Oh, nice.
For that auction, they weren't trying to let that shit go for 90, for $1, like how I was getting all the other ones I was telling you about. I had to sit there and fight with them with that shit, and then trust me, this Captain Marvel. Yeah, it was
nice.
it's crazy because the guy started off at a penny, so people were trying nickel and dime it, and then I just waited around and waited. They have like a little countdown at the end, and right within like the last 30 seconds, I was like, pop, 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 and boom, I got it. And I was like, I had to sit there and trick everybody else, jump in there at the last minute, and pull this out of the lion's jaws. So
well done, bud. Well done. And I agree, Mark. See, I love the Earth 2 Robin costume, especially the second one. He made my list, but it was after 50. But I actually put a special Earth 2 Robin on the list later, but I'm only doing 50 down right now. So
actually, I like the way he had his cape. He had his cape like Batman's.
Oh, it was great. It was wonderful.
Oh, that shit, yeah. Matter of fact, if you remember when they gave Tim Drake his first Robin series, his cape was the same way.
Yeah, it was. And it was cool. It was very much based on that. Very much. So yeah,
because the first issue of the cover is him kind of like in a froggy position, but he's on a rooftop, like looking over the rooftop, and you can kind of see his cape drawn behind him, but then you can see the back of it is like the bottom of Batman's cape.
Great stuff. Yep. Well, let's see. Let's get rolling on so we can get through. It won't take too much longer though, because I'm going through this pretty quick.
Yeah, you went through a bunch of good heroes already. Wow. Oh, man, I remember when you were talking about Pharaoh.
I love Pharaoh Lad.
Hey, Pharaoh Lad. Hey, did you know? Did you ever watch The Darkest Night? Have you ever read it?
Darkest Night? You mean the Darkest Night? What is that?
That's when the Sun Eater came to present time.
Are you talking about? Isn't that a more recent thing though?
Right, and then but what happened was the Legion of Superheroes came to forewarn the heroes of today that the Sun Eater was coming, and what happened was if you look at the whole DC history, there's a part of history that's blacked out, and the reason why it was blacked out was that was the time that the Sun Eater came to our present day, and the Legion of Superheroes tried to stop him, and no one could stop him. But what happened was Hal Jordan Parallax stepped in, and he's the one that stopped the Sun Eater, but he died.
Yeah.
And that was when he ended up being Hal Jordan the Spectre afterwards, because he went up, he died.
I hate that. I hate him being the Spectre. It drives me insane. It makes me sick, dude. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, I have the whole run. So, I mean, I kept up with Hal Jordan.
I love Hal, though, and you'll see why. You'll see how much soon. I forget what number are we on now. Let's see. That's
39, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, let's see here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So, yeah, we're at okay, yeah, we're 30. We're at 35 down. I know we're at 30. 33, 32, 31, 30. Yeah, we're at 35 down. I mean, we're the Beast. Well, God damn it. I'm trying to figure out. Let's see. That's 25. 26, 27, 28, 29.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you, man, by the time you got to Wonder Woman, I was like, let me in. I want to join you.
Yeah. Wonder Woman's probably mad at me now, too.
Oh, man.
Way too, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble now.
Hey, I love the way when they try to explain how there was a Wonder Woman in World War II. I love how they made Hippolyta the Wonder Woman for World War II, and that kind of covered how Wonder Woman was around, with the JSA.
By the way, the Great Darkness Saga by Paul Levitz was not what he was talking about there. But yeah, the Great Darkness Saga, I do recommend. If you haven't read that, that's to me the greatest Legion epic of them all.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it was when the Sun Eater came, that was the big thing that had to do with Pharaoh that I forgot to tell you. Was Pharaoh went to go sacrifice himself to destroy the Sun Eater.
Right.
And right before he got to the Sun Eater, Hal Jordan grabbed him and was like, "Son, you know, this ain't your time to die, you know, now." And he blinked him back, and he was like, "I'm gonna be the one to take on the Sun Eater." And that's when he started saying his Green Lantern oath. And he just, you know, I remember that. I was like, I was reading that shit.
What? Okay, I got you. Now I didn't read that because I mean, like I told you the other night, at that point I was gone. Yeah, you're talking final night is what you're talking about.
Thanks, the final night, right? Because what it is, it was that time was called the you know, the darkest night or something. It was like a name for you know, that for a time period in DC history where everything was black and nobody knew. Like when the Legion looked back at the time history of DC, they were like, well, what happened around this time? Come to find out, that's when the Sun Eater showed up, and that's when the Sun Eater was draining everything from the earth. And it was to the point that nobody could stop. And and Pharaoh Lad was like, "Yo, I'm going to sacrifice myself." And I didn't understand that. I was like, "Why would he do that?" Until afterwards, I found out that's what he did before, and he was just doing it again, you know. And Hal Jordan was like, "No, son, this ain't your time now." And he blinked him out. He blinked him back to with the rest of the heroes. He was like, "I'll deal with this." And he fought that shit with as Parallax, trying to redeem himself because he knew it was the right thing to do. He didn't want to see this whole point in being the villain of Zero Hour was not to destroy the universe. He wanted to bring the dead back and make things the way it was. And people were trying to fight against it, like, yo, you need to let it be. And it was just, he was still trying to do something noble, but he went about it in a crooked way. And I just like how he redeemed himself at the end, especially with Pharaoh Lad. So that was my whole.
Gotcha. So now I'm caught up to where I am, 38, 9, 30, let's see, 39, 34. I should have numbered these suckers. 39, 38.
Yeah, 39 was the last thing I heard you say.
35.
All
right, so we're at 34. Sorry, everyone. Here we go. Now I know where I am. Yes, we've been still that stupid mullet. Okay, 34. I confused myself by putting 6 on this one, but I wanted to have both versions. Hank McCoy, a.k.a. the Beast. X-Men and Avengers. I've always loved him. I fell in love with him when he was already the Blue Beast. When I first saw him, I was only really on that. And later, of course, retroactively got to read some of the oldest. You got a Kirby, you got a Perez right here.
Did you like him? Did you like him when he was a part of the Defenders?
It was okay. I mean, I just loved the character, but I mean, I liked him better when he was with It's funny because I kind of enjoyed him more when he was with the Avengers in that run, Shooter and other people later, Stern or whatever, and especially because of his dynamic with the characters on this list as well as his friendship with him. But yeah, he just is just a great character. As garbage as the X-Men 3 movie is, for example, when Kelsey Grammer is pretty good when he says, "Oh, my stars and garters," I got all teary-eyed. I didn't really, but I thought it was cool. Great, terrible movie. It was a good casting, though.
Yeah, it was. It was good casting.
Next, of course, 33, Luke Cage. But I knew him as Power Man. When I'm reading the comic, it was called Luke Cage Hero for Hire, and it's called Power Man. I like calling him Power Man. I love this Luke. I love him anyway, but I love this look for him the best. I just don't know why. I guess because I love superheroes. So one of the things about superheroes, as I'm sure you know, they're appealing because they have crazy costumes. When you make him to look too street or too real, like he does now, he's got. Right. It's like, I mean, he's still cool, and I love the guy played him on that show. But right there, he's like a bona fide superhero, and he was very Doc Savage in that he always tore his shirt. There's no issue went by without him tearing that damn shirt up. But I loved him, and one of the first comics I got to see him in regularly was when he for a short time in my beloved Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm had got turned back into Ben Grimm, the Thing had, and he actually substituted him for him a little bit there. And, I saw him. That was one of the first times I got to read a comic book with him. And, of course, every time I got a chance to read one with him, especially later in the wonderful Power Man and Iron Fist series,
I
loved him on that.
Too. Yeah, I enjoyed that, too. That was a very good series.
Yeah, love Luke Cage, man. He's great. And we were talking about the Beast.
Yep.
This next guy is, of course, Wonder Man, as you can see.
Of course.
and Simon Williams, whom I love. And it's funny, he and the Beast were hilarious together at Avengers.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of
Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. Yes,
right.
Absolutely. I think it was based on that because they went around getting in trouble and they were all goofy together and stuff like that. You know, it was a fun relationship. So I love it, and I love Wonder Man. I always have. I love this ridiculous costume of his. Although this is a variation on his first one. He's had a red one, then of course he's had the red jacket. He's had a black one. He's had all kind of different costumes. He's not monogamous with costumes, but I just love Simon Williams. He's a great character, a great tragic character. Depending on which retcon you like to ignore or mess with, he's, the Vision's, the Vision was created from his mind engrams. Of course, not really now. I don't know. I'm not sure where that is right now. I know John Byrne fiddled with it. I'm sure Mark could tell us. But I love him. Love Simon Williams. Always did. I don't know what it is about Wonder Man because he wasn't around a lot till later. You know.
No, he wasn't. He was actually he was underused. And when they did, when they did use him,
yeah.
I don't think we saw the best come from him the way we saw other characters flourish.
Yes, I hated the energy version of him too. That really aggravated me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to. I remember him the way you have him up now, but I remember him more when he was with you. When he was with the Avengers and he had the jacket. Like
which was red. Okay. It was okay. It wasn't very superhero-y, but it was kind of cool. It was all right. Excuse me, everyone. Now my next one, 31. I know you all know who he is. I'm not going to even say the word Shazam because you don't have to say Shazam to become him, Freddie Freeman. Of course, Captain Marvel Jr. This is, of course, the greatest Captain Marvel Jr. artist there was Mac Rayboy, who was a brilliant cartoonist. His art is just beautiful. And I love Mac Rayboy, Captain Marvel Jr. And as we talked about the other night when we talked about him, and a lot of people talk about this, the inspiration for Elvis, he loved Captain Marvel. He loved this. He loved Jr., later in Kingdom Come King Marvel, as many know. Not much to say. Just a great character. He was just so much fun as a kid. I just loved him.
Did you ever read him when he was a part of the Teen Titans?
No, I know he was for a while, but I was not reading DC at that point.
Man, it was good. It was good to see that they had him for strength. It was good to see him used. As one of the powerhouses.
At least he doesn't use lightning.
No. I mean,
yeah.
But like I said, for a lot of things that you've seen him, you rarely see him just kick some ass. But in that run, he was. You get to see him. He has that power, and it's like you never really see his full abilities. And they had some good storylines with him in it, and it was good to see him, in there with, with Robin and everybody else. It's like he was well deserved, and I always wanted to see him be in another iteration, but they never brought him back.
He's amazing, yeah, and they never will. Not the way I want him anyway, but I love him. Now we have, because again, I'm one of these weirdos, folks, that I like the X-Men fine. I have 2 X-Men on this little one right here. But we have my favorite X-Man. So he's the highest X-Men on my list. They're fine. I'm not the biggest X-Men freak, but I like them fine. There've been some great comics. I love Scott Summers, Cyclops right here. I like this costume the best, better than his older one with Kirby. I love him. I just think he's a great character. He's got a lot of depth to him and whatever like that. And I don't have to go too far into it. I love Cyclops. Always have. He's always been my favorite X-Man. So
I like that suit. I like the other suit that he had back in the 90s where he had like you could see his hair coming out from the top, and he had like that yellow band going across. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was during like the early mid 90s. That suit that he had, it was actually pretty cool, but that's the iconic suit. That's the suit he had back in the early 80s.
Yep, right when he started the new X-Men.
Right, yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I love that one. Where are we at now? We're at 29.
Ooh.
Here we go. Now we're almost down to the big top 25. We're down to the 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. No, we're at, where are we? We're at 30. Sorry, we're at 30. 30 is, of course, I love him. I don't know why. He's got a dumb name. I don't care. Brainiac 5.
Oh, Brainiac 5. Yeah, of course. Yeah, from Legion, of course. Yeah, he's very smart dude.
Sorry, I'm getting I'm in trouble, man. I'm in fucking trouble, dudes.
Oh.
For that having Wonder Woman solo. She hates me now. 20-something, 25 years is gonna end like this. Yeah, so I'm dead, man. I'm a dead man now for having Wonder Woman solo. We have a special relationship, and she loves Wonder Woman. If you're hearing me again, Wonder Woman, you can come on and talk about it, and you could come on and chew me out later. I know, you could come on and call me names. I'm telling that you can come on and chew me out if you want to. Sorry, everyone, but you'd all love that, by the way. Sorry, everyone. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I didn't handle something there. Yeah, buddy, I'm in trouble. I'm dead. I'm a dead mother. Everybody else is gonna, they're all gonna just laugh. They want me to die. Yep, I'm in. Oh man. If you're in my top 50, in the 100 even, but if you're in the top 50 at all, I love you as a character. I just grew up reading more comics with the other ones. But anyway, so Querl Dox of the Coluan, who grew up wanting to make up, because the real deal Brainiac 5 was a Coluan, not a goddamn robot. And he, of course, committed all of his evil deeds. And Brainiac 5 grew up, and of course, he's in the 30th century, and he wanted to make up for all the bad things that his ancestor had done. Right. And he's the brains of the Legion. He's the one who came up with the flight rings, man. And I love it.
Yeah, Querl Dox. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's especially the way he dealt with Lobo. Shit.
Yeah, I love him. He's great.
I don't know if you read that when Lobo became a part of Legion, but that was
that anything after 1990 is Legion. I do not recognize as canon. I don't touch it. It makes me want to vomit. But let's see here. Okay, so come on later then. Later, I'll be on for a while. I'm telling you guys might get to hear me get dressed down tonight, man. Get destroyed by a woman. I'll be a big wussweed. Of course I won't. I'm going to be an asshole to her. What you gonna do? She'll just have to take it. But
Okay.
Come on, come defend Wonder Woman if you want to. I'll take you on. You want to start a fight about it? We'll do that. I know 24/7 ain't gonna back me. He's gonna take her side, but it's okay. She's beautiful, so you should, right? I wouldn't blame you, buddy. Anyway, I love her. She's gonna kill me. You get to watch me die on my own live stream. Oh man! When I made the list, I'm like, oh shit! I better not do this on the stream. And then I'm fucking doing it on the stream like an asshead. So next. Next, my flow's all fucked up now, man. 26, 7, 8. Which way am I going? Oh, okay. What's next? 27 is. Let's see. That goes that way.
The Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. No, it's going to be Firestorm. Firestorm is next. I got a weird. They're all over the place there. Ronnie Raven. I've heard a rumor that Alex Ross, the excellent painter artist, hates Firestorm. Well, fuck you, Alex Ross.
Wow.
I don't know. He's
a nuclear man.
I
don't see why.
I don't know, man. I love him, and of course, Ronnie Raymond, Professor Stein, great character. Look at that costume, dude. It's beautiful. I love gaudy, crazy costumes, man. And the fire for the hair, all that shit. And it was just a fun. He was definitely, look at the time, a character we're going to see a little bit later. He was kind of ripped off from, in a sense. He was an attempt for DC to have a younger character again. You know, someone once said, and it's not entirely true.
What's that?
Oh, Chris. Great to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
Hey, take it easy, Chris Persia.
Chris Persia, the great Chris Persia. Thank you for being here. He was, I don't know, he was kind of based on that, but someone once said that all the greatest superheroes were all created before 1970. Ooh. It's not entirely true, but the greatest percentage of the ones I love, it's true of. But it's not true of Firestorm, for example. Right. Firestorm's been around a long time. And I love him. I love Ronnie Raymond. I don't like any of the later iterations of him and stuff like that. I like this one. And, of course, this is a great Perez. This is from the JLA postcard set. This is a Perez drawing. Love it. And I still have that.
Oh, yeah. He was awesome in the JLA. That was a good
He was even on the Super Friends cartoons.
Oh yeah, the Super Friends. I had the Firestorm, so I remember that. Yeah.
Superpowers, absolutely, man. Yeah. Man, next, awesome. We have a nice Neil Adams Dead Man here. Dead Man, Boston Brand, another one of my favorite heroes. Again, some of the most. I guess I like the quirky ones, dude. I like the ones who are tragic sometimes, and he is that. Constantly enslaved by Ramakrishna for what happened.
Right.
I love him. I love Dead Man. He's great.
I have a mini series of Dead Man. Then I have the actual series that came out maybe 10, 15 years ago. No, I'll say about 15, 20 years ago. And the series was called Dead Again. Have you read that one? The Dead Again Dead Man series?
Which one? When was it? You give me an era when it came out, because I stopped, as I was telling you the other night, I stopped with a lot of DC in the 90s. So I bought the miniseries.
I think it might have came out after you stopped collecting, because what it showed was that Dead Man was at the 5 worst events that happened in DC history. He was there. Okay. So issue 1 was Dead Man playing his part during the Crisis on Infinite Earths when Barry Allen died. That was Dead Man was there, and you get to see Dead Man's involvement. That's something that, like, when you read Crisis, you didn't know Dead Man was there, but when you read the series, you get to find out he was there, and he was trying to do his thing to try to help prevent Barry Allen from dying, but he witnessed that. Then when it came to Jason Todd getting killed by the Joker, he was there for that too. And he tried to, and he actually, he was, they say, if I'm not mistaken, he jumped into Jason Todd's body trying to escape with his mother before they got blown up, and they still died. But Dead Man jumped in his body and gave him the strength to get up, to try to live, and he still died. So he was there. So, and then he was also there when Superman died. And they showed his involvement with that. And then they showed his involvement when Coast City got destroyed and Hal Jordan turned into Parallax. He played a part in that, in trying to prevent it. But everything he did in all those events, he failed, because those things still happen. So it's a hell of a series, man. I was looking at it the other day. I got it in the next room.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you. Well, there you go. I love Dead Man. Great character. They've done so many, good things with him. Again, I always like to point out how he stands out even sometimes in other media. Batman Brave and the Bold, he was great on that. And the Justice League cartoon, they had a great episode with him in it. Henry Pym. As you can see, the many facets of Henry Pym right here. He was Ant-Man. He was Giant Man. He was even Goliath for a while, but Clinton Barton was Goliath for a while as well. Yellow Jacket. Thanks a lot, Mark, by the way, taking her side. Best debut artist: Neil Adams or Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I love Lopez. I probably go with Adams begrudgingly, but I don't know. It's close, dude. It's a coin flip, man. Love them both. They're both great.
Yeah.
That Adams stuff's so great, though. God, I remember back in the '80s they did a Baxter format reprint series of the Adams Dead Man. Of course, that was the first time I got a chance to read some of those. Great stuff. I go with Adams, but hey, look, if you pick Garcia Lopez, you ain't doing bad. And Garcia Lopez not only did he do them in Adventure Comics, but he also later did a miniseries in the '80s of Dead Man. So, but Hank Pym is a great character because he's a complex character. He's just so. I mean, he's nuts. And I got to be honest with you, I love Yellow Jacket, dude. I love the Yellow Jacket stuff.
I love that
friggin' too. A-hole. I love the costume. I loved everything about it, even though he went nuts.
Yeah, that part of him, that was him being abusive and all that.
It was amazing. It was a great.
Yeah, he was awesome though. I liked him as Yellow Jacket. So I thought that suit was always a pretty damn good suit.
But as far as the Giant Man thing, I kind of like the blue and yellow Giant Man outfit a little bit better.
You didn't like the one where he had like he had like he showed his stomach and
that was Clint. That was Clint though.
Oh, that was Clint.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Clint, that wasn't Clint's worst costume ever. He had I'm not even going to go into it now, but he had a Hawkeye costume that was so laughable. It's considered one of the worst costumes in the comics book history. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'll have to show it to you one day. It's for a short time. It was an Avengers 100. Hawkeye had the worst costume maybe of any character ever. It was like a dress.
Actually, Avengers 100. That was Avengers 100. That was the time when the Kree Skrull War.
Yeah, that's right. It was the end of it. It was Barry Wintersmith, great comic. But yeah, I have to check out that costume. So we'll do a show on worst costumes one day. How about that? That'd be fun. Next, of course, at 26 is you know him, you love him, you're illogical to not be without him. The Vision. Depending upon which origins you're interested in, he was originally Jim Hammond, remade from the Jim Hammond original Human Torch, but that was changed by Mr. Byrne. And of course, he was part of Ultron. He's been retconned a few times by your buddy Byrne there, Mark. No, he's gonna give me some shit about Byrne. He knows
and it's funny you say that because Hank Pym created Ultron.
He created, that's another thing. That's one thing. Look, I like the MCU as much as the next guy. Fucking hate Tony Stark creating Ultron. It makes me.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
And it's garbage. And I like the movie, but that's garbage.
And the fact that they kept the founding members of the Avengers out of the Avengers. I mean, if you're going to be for that diversity shit, you should at least have the Wasp there and let her say, hey, let's be called the Avengers and give give her props, which is what she did. If you want to be about women's empowerment, you could have gave her that, and she could have got. You could have, I don't know, man.
No, I'm with you. I don't. Again, they're good, but they made it to Tony Stark verse. There you go. Let's go on. We're gonna go down to nitty gritty. 25 down. Let's see here. 25 down. Herm. Last night, I asked the great Lord Doomcock, dropping the name because he's a great guy, you don't mind, to read from the first page of Watchmen, the opening Rorschach's journal, tire tread on burst stomach. The city's dog carcass in alleyway, tire tread on burst stomach. The city's afraid of me. I've seen its true face, and he did a marvelous job reading the whole page. I love Rorschach at number 25 there by this, of course. When it comes to Watchmen, and this is just opinion, my friends.
There you go.
There's only one Watchmen. I mean, the movie's cute and all that stuff. I got a lot of issues with it. We're not talking about the movie now. I'm just saying I have my issues, but I like it in some ways. But there's only one Watchmen. That's by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. It was a 12-issue maxi series that ran into 1986 and 1987. That is it. Any other comic book calling itself Watchmen that doesn't have Alan Moore's name on it can fucking suck it, DC. I hate him for that. I'm that kind of a Watchmen freak, man. Back then I collected everything to do with Watchmen. I have a Watchmen collection from back then, not now when I have it all from then. And not a brag. I mean, I just loved it so much at the time. Now I admit looking back, it ruined a lot of things for comics, but it's a masterpiece of comic book storytelling.
Did you hear about what happened last week?
Yeah, with the Tom King thing and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I agree with
the third Rorschach.
Oh, here we got some heresy going on. By the way, Ian Mapes did Ultron the best. That was great. Mark C never understood the appeal of Watchmen. So, well, you're not alone there, dude. But I love it. It's great. Sorry. Not everybody's into everything. What are you gonna do? But it's a masterpiece.
You want to know the whole thing to the Watchmen. Now that that I've been thinking about. It's funny that we're on this topic. The thing about the Watchmen, when you think about when they came out, or when they were supposed to have came out, these were heroes from the 1930s and 40s. Just imagine if the way we look at the Justice Society, not the Justice League, the Justice Society of America, we look at the Justice Society of America and we get to find out that behind the scenes, they're really all fucked up. Well, and the thing is, the way I feel about the Justice Society of America, man.
That's what you call deconstruction. Now they got close to it in a great book by James Robinson and Paul Smith called Golden Age. In the 90s, they kind of was Watchmen-esque in some ways. Great book.
I remember Golden Age.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the fact that when you look at the JSA and you think about how wholesome they are, and you see something like that get fractured by all this extra shit that makes them look, it just puts them in a different light. It kind of takes what you love and kind of turns it upside down and makes you look at it in a different way. And that's what people liked, but it's just kind of like, it's one of those things that if I saw that with the JSA and it was their history, other than like something like Golden Age where it was like an Elseworld. Ooh.
Well, another thing about Watchmen knows on this is, by the way, to address something that what Mark said, all teasing aside about him, because multiple things can be true in a multifaceted person at any given time. In other words, I'm almost envious that he never understood the appeal, because it's a double-edged sword for me. I loved it so much when it came out, but I was very young. I mean, I'm sorry, when you're in your early 20s, mid-20s, you're young. So I was very young. I wanted my comics harder edged back then. I don't now. As I've grown up and there's a lot of water under the bridge, I still will maintain the brilliance of the storytelling and the art and the writing and all that stuff, and then love the characters. Nevertheless, if you tell me you could send someone back in a time machine and make Watchmen not happen for what it's going to do to comics, I'd do that. And again, it's a mixed bag for me. It's like I love it, and I still love the character of Rorschach, and I mean that when I say nobody else should be ever doing a Watchmen comic. At the same time, the appeal is limited because deconstructing superheroes wasn't really that necessary. It saved the industry for a while, but it also sent culturally the art form into a tailspin. But anyway, that's away from what I'm doing here tonight. But I just stepped on that move because Mark made a good point about that. I mean, he actually brought up an interesting point with it.
Right.
But the 24 is a guy I'm sure you guys are familiar with. He's known by a lot of names. Some would say he's known by the Cosmic Crybaby. Some people call him. I love him, though. He's silver. He surfs on a surfboard. He is the herald with the power cosmic. Norrin Rad, the Silver Surfer. Great Kirby rendition right there. I love him. Good God. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't, if you love Marvel, doesn't love old Surfy? So,
hey, did you? Let me ask you this: did you like what happened? What they did with him and the Cosmic Ghost Rider?
You know me, I don't read any more. As I've told you, I don't read any modern stuff, so I don't know what they did. So maybe you can tell me about it sometime. But I don't know what's if it's pretty drastic. I did actually a couple of years ago read some of that Dan Slott series that he and Mike Allred did, and I couldn't really get into it that much. So
it's the far future,
right?
Yeah, it's the far future, and you got Cosmic Ghost Rider, around, and Silver Surfer comes to try to, I guess, kill Thanos, or I don't know. He comes to kill either Thanos or Galactus. I can't remember. It was Thanos or Galactus, and
it was Thanos. I know it was Thanos because I read about it. Someone told me about it. But yeah,
right. And it's like it's a whole chain of events happen, and Ghost Rider, he ends up getting killed right at the start, and it's thousands of years or whatever in the future. Earth is gone. Frank Castle is the Ghost Rider, and yeah, it's a very crazy story. Matter of fact, I have Ghost Rider. I have the #1 issue over here. I just got it the other day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I got you there. RR has a. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and now they have a storyline where Cosmic Ghost Rider from the far future, which is what happens is something's supposed to happen where Galactus comes and Earth, he comes to Earth, and the heroes, I guess they die. Frank Castle's the last one left. He turns into he ends up becoming Ghost Rider, but then Galactus ends up controlling him. So he ends up being a herald of Galactus, but he's Cosmic Ghost Rider, and he's Frank Castle, all at the same time. So it's all it's like shit. What happened? And Thanos is involved, but there's a storyline now where he came from the future all the way into the present. So right now he's running around in present Marvel universe, fucking up a lot of shit. Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. So, and the fact that he has the knowledge of he's coming from the future, and he's Frank Castle, so he's seen what happened when the world died and everything else, and now he's back, but he's Ghost Rider.
Right. Well, there you go, man. Well, I've heard things about it. Heard it's pretty. By the way, RR makes a point. Well, we'll get going again, but on Watchmen, the deconstruction that Moore did was an offshoot of the overall philosophical deconstruction of Western civilization by the European Continental School of Philosophy. It's what is destroying us now. That is absolutely true, RR. Yep. Sometimes you got to watch. You got to watch these things, and sometimes no. But with the Silver Surfer, there's Kirby's, Buscema's, and with Byrne with the 260. The Surfer doesn't exist for me after that. Mark C, I'm with you there, brother. Totally with you, man. But I love him, and of course, I love the character. And incidentally, without going too far into it, I recommend that way too short-lived Silver Surfer cartoon from 1988.
I was just about. You know what? I was pointing at the screen, about to say, "Hey, what do you think about the cartoon?"
I love it. Dude. We'll do a show on some. I'm going to do a show on superhero cartoons soon, and that's going to be one of them. I mean, man, it makes me so mad that it didn't continue. But
man, you're right. I'm with you the whole way. It got cut too short.
Yep.
I agree with you.
And the plans for season 2 will make you want to cry. Number 23.
You know about that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. It makes me want to kill myself.
Well, I tell you what. Yeah, whenever that goes down, make sure I'm around, man. I
will, buddy. We'll talk about that because, man, good God. Poor old Larry Brody. Well, another good point before we get going on this. The culture of evangelism is going on now. No heroes, no stories about struggles, no stories about moral choices.
Right.
Too true, Eastland. But here's a hero to me, and there's I love this guy. Black Panther T'Challa. He is, of course, he is technically the first black superhero created by Lee and Kirby. Of course, originally it was going to be Cold Tiger, but of course, he wasn't. The first American one was the Falcon, but He was, of course, not from America, but he's from the mythical country of Wakanda. Like anyone doesn't know that now, but there was a time when they didn't. They did a time when they didn't, of course.
Right.
Love him. I mean, to me, and again, I love him in this form. I remember, and by the way, for those who don't know, for a short time he was known as the Black Leopard,
right,
but only for a couple of comic books because of silly things going on politically back in the early 70s. I live in the South. And as you may or may not know, distribution on that comic at that time, the horrible crap times that they were in some ways, I didn't get to see it that much. Whenever I saw him, I loved him. So most of the times when I got to see him was in Avengers. We didn't get Jungle Action that much. We got it, and but I picked it up when I could. But of course, distribution on all comics were garbage at that point. Anyway, as far as getting something, collecting it on a monthly basis.
Distribution. Let's be real. Distribution of a lot of things. When it came to the South, the South suffered in so much shit. I mean, beyond music, comic. I'm talking about just all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of shit late. Fashion.
Very true.
I mean, shit. When fashion, when New York and in California would get shit, when it came to the South, it's like shit. It'd be 6 months to a year. We're getting styles that were outdated. Oh my God.
It's crazy stuff, man. But anyway, I love him. And I recommend if you hadn't read much Black Panther, of course, obviously go try to dig out his first appearance in FF 52 and 53, of course. But also the Don McGregor, Billy Graham stuff. The Kirby run of the Bronze Age, this was later, is really wild, crazy stuff, but Kirby's the creator, and it's fun to look at, and it's great. It's crazy, nutty stuff. It's not culturally relevant. It's just really off the wall, but fun stuff, and it's good stuff. And again, I like making these notable cartoon appearances. The wonderful FF cartoon second season of the mid '90s, which was great. The Black Panther episode on that with Keith David doing the voice was magnificent. I love that episode. Don't know if you've seen it, where they retell the origin of the Black Panther. It's a fantastic cartoon. It was the second season. The first season was horrible of the FF cartoon in the mid '90s, but the second season was pure Kirby. They did a total revamp, ignored the first season, and they did a bunch of Kirby stuff, and they adapted that first Black Panther appearance on an episode. Keith David doing the voice of Black Panther. It's fantastic. It's wonderful, man.
Oh,
it's
Keith wonderful. David. Oh yeah, I like Keith David.
Great
Keith
actor.
David, he's awesome. Yep. I
always want to say David Keith sometimes, since there was a David Keith, but Keith David was more. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith David. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. I liked him. I liked him in that first Riddick movie. That
Well, he did a lot of cartoon voices too, though. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, great. That was, if you ever get a chance to check that out, maybe I'll send you a link or something if you want to see it. It's probably on YouTube. So it's fantastic, though. Silver Surfer season. You think Silver Surfer season 2 would make you cry? Reading about Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes season crew, yeah, that'll also make you. If we'd have got a season 3 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, oh my God, I hate you, Jeff Loeb, you piece of garbage. Anyway, go get me started on that. Let me get rolling here. I think you probably some of you may be familiar with this next gentleman. I'm going to speculate that you might be. You might know who this is. I don't know. Iron something or other. Iron Pants. That's it.
Yeah. A
lovely Bob Layton inked Iron Man there. I believe on JRJR, if I'm not mistaken. I love that Dave Michelinie, JRJR, Bob Layton era of Iron Man leading up to Demon in the Bottle and after it. That was when I fell in love with the character. So, I mean, in every sense of the word, I love the Iron Man comic book character. That doesn't mean that he's not affected in some ways by the RDJ portrayal, which is terrific. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is wonderful. So, you can't separate him anymore. It does enhance the character, although he talks more like Peter Parker sometimes than he does Tony Stark. He's terrific, though. And Iron Man's a great character. We don't have to go into it much because, everyone knows about him, right? So, we all know the I am there. And now, number 21. The man, even though he was a kid, called Nova. Much like Spider-Man was a kid, the comic was called The Man Called Nova. The Human Rocket. Man, when this comic came out, I was so, like 76, I believe it was. It blew me away, man. I loved again one of the things about I believe this, you guys. I mean, if you guys aren't on the same page, I'm sorry, but I think one of the things that attracts us to superheroes are the costumes. Let's just be honest. The gaudy look to them, because there are a lot of other great heroes in other mediums. You got James Bond and you got John McClane and whoever. They're all great, but they don't have costumes per se. They have looks. Costumes are fucking fantastic. I'm sorry, I can't get enough of them as a fan of superheroes, and this is one of the greatest in my opinion. And I love Rich Rider. I love yes, it's very derivative of the Green Lantern Corps, the Nova Corps, and all that kind of stuff. The first 12, 13 issues, though, first one done by John Buscema. Marv Wolfman created the character. Later, it was, of course, Sal Buscema for a long time. And then, unfortunately, the art got terrible at issue 14 with a very old Carmen Infantino taking over. But my God, do I love Richard Rider? Do I love Nova? For that short time there, he even had a crossover with Spider-Man. My God, man, I just love this comic and I love this character, and I've gushed enough about him. So
did you have you ever read the Nova Corps?
Anything after this series makes me want to vomit until I could not vomit anymore, and I could vomit a whole planet full of vomit when I think of anything other than this Nova and what they did to Richard Rider when they put him in New Warriors.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a jerk when it comes to that stuff.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, buddy. 20 on down now, folks. Shit. I know this is here's an unpopular opinion in comic geekness. For some people, maybe not anyone here, but I've been ridiculed for this before.
For what?
For
I know you're not about to say Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Get the fuck out.
A great apparel. Hey. People make fun of him all the time. I love Aquaman.
Dude, I got every Aquaman comic from like the mid '60s. I mean, I even got like the Death of Aqua Baby. Dude, I love it. Man, I have Time and Tides. I have I have the Atlantis Chronicles.
Yeah. He gets I mean, look, jokes about I think that can take jokes about anything, but I'm just saying some people like to make the Flash. We're here right now. My normal co-host or my usual co-host, he'd be making fun of me because he makes fun of Aquaman. But I love him, man. And that's my Aquaman. The Momo movie's fine and all that stuff, but that's Aquaman to me. I love that Jim Aparo era right there. Steve Skates was a crazy writer, but it was fun. You talked about the stuff with the death of Miriam and whatever, man. But
I have like the Mirror Quest. I have
Mirror Quest. Yeah, they've reprinted that recently. Yeah.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's crazy because I have I had just bought like some of like there's shit like I have like when Adventure Comics started after this. They started having the Adventures of Aquaman because they had canceled the series, and they started running it on Adventure Comics.
That's right. No, I have
and then after they ran it for Adventure Comics for a little bit, they decided to bring it back to Aquaman Comics, and then it was like, oh, well, he's back now in his own book.
Yep.
I was like, what? I remember all that.
Yeah.
And especially when you have Black Manta being the person that killed his son.
Great stuff, great character, and I love him. And I've loved him ever since I first saw him on the Superman Aquaman Hour on the old Filmation cartoons. I love him. And of course later on Super Friends. There you go. Armageddon. I remember that one.
Yeah, this is when they got pulled back out of Ragnarok.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night. Yeah, when they got pulled back out of it. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
and then of course, All-Star Squadron #1.
Joe Kubert cover. Nice. Yeah, I remember that very well. I remember when that came out, man. I was excited about that one.
Now you know what I got here? This is what you've been asking about for a minute right here.
Oh, we were talking about that the other night. I love that series, man.
Yeah, I got all 10 right here.
Great. I need to reread that again, man. It was wonderful. Those who anybody who likes the JSA, man, that Mike Parabek, JSA book, written by Lynn Straczynski or whatever his name was. A fine series. Fine.
Hey, did you ever when that came out? Did you ever get these?
Yeah, I have those too. That was okay.
Yeah, I got all 8.
It was all right though. It wasn't, I liked the other one better, but that was not. It was a nice book. Yeah. Then speaking of that, since you're showing us so much JSA, our next contestant at 19, love. Oh man, dude, I love 100-page giants. God damn, man, that's great.
Yeah, I got 2 of these, so yeah.
Nice. Our next gentleman is, of course, at 19. I love him. Oh, good God, Jay Garrick, the Golden Age Flash, of course. I mean, my goodness, man. What can you say about him? Everyone knows he's the numero uno Flash as far as first one. And again, I just love that guy. I love everything about him. What a great costume too, by the way.
Yeah, actually, he's I mean, that's the whole thing about him and the JSA. They're real, they're real stand-up guys, and they're real. They got real strong beliefs in being fair and just doing what's right and
yes,
looking out for others, and they care, and they want to see people live. They don't want to see nobody die. And I don't know. This this thing about them. They have like a World War II, Vietnam. I mean, not Vietnam, but just a World War II spirit of just trying to like save your fellow man and make sure that they just trying to make sure that nobody doesn't die. And I've seen so many stories from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and going into the 90s with this, and just 2000s. Every time I see the JSA, they're always worried about the younger heroes. Hey, if something happens, we got to be the first ones to go in there. If we die, we lived our lives. Let's make sure that we save the young heroes. And that's the thing that makes me love them even more, because they're real about it. They're not fake. It's not a facade. Hell, even if you watch Stargirl, the first episode, shit, Dr. Midnight is getting pulled away, and he was like, "Son, run! Like, get the hell up out of here! Like, like we dying up in here! Like, shit! He's trying to like give warning, like, people care." And it's it's some good shit. I mean, it's man, the JSA, man, they're awesome. And like I said, if you watch the first episode of Stargirl and you see how Wildcat and everybody else, I mean, dude, there's nothing like them, man. Jay Garrick, you picked a good one, man. I'm with you the whole way.
Great. Thanks, buddy. I love him. He's fantastic, and
he's awesome.
My number 18 is a character near and dear to my heart. It's almost a theme with me, I guess, but I really love tragic characters. We talked about Pharaoh Lad earlier and things like that. And we had Swamp Thing on earlier. He's a tragedy. A lot of these characters, tragic. I love Drake Burroughs, Wildfire, the Legion of Superheroes. My God, is he just, I mean, something about him. I mean, look, this is a guy, again, he was kind of this arrogant, ne'er-do-well. He was kind of a dumb jock type. Kind of didn't, just trying to get by, smarter than people gave him credit for, but he just didn't give a shit about stuff. And he just wanted to get near a girl. And so he started trying to suck up to a scientist and ends up with an accident that turns him into living energy. And he has to have this suit to live in. And he can't touch, he can't feel, he can't do anything anymore. Erg 1 originally was the name of the suit. And in his first appearance, he was called Erg 1. And there's a great issue much later, a little bit before the Great Darkness saga. I believe it was Levitz wrote it, but I can't remember the art. It was a different artist. It was Howard Bender, maybe. But anyway, where he tells his origin for the first time, really tells it all. It's got a great Laparo cover with Wildfire on it. Oh, it's great, beautiful cover. But anyway, Wildfire. Well, I don't have to go too far into it. He's of my wonderful Legion of Superheroes. My second favorite Legionnaire. Love him. Well, really third, because my second's on here as well. And of course, moving on to this green guy. You know something? I usually don't like hippies. I'm not a big fan of hippies. I love this fucking hippie right here. especially when he's drawn by Neil Adams like this. And this is what he is, a fucking hippie. He wouldn't be he would not be an SJW today, but he was back then a goddamn hippie. But he was so cool.
You think you think he would have been an SJW?
No, today he wouldn't be. But he's
no.
Back then he was a hippie. There's a difference. Yeah, I mean, and he was a badass too. And if you just read, he became much of a cold hard liner with Mike Grell's Longbow Hunters.
Oh, the Longbow Hunters. Oh man, yeah. I mean that's when the first time, if I'm not mistaken, I seen him with a hood.
Oh yeah, he had the hood. Yeah, that was what the hood. Yeah, that's where the hood came from. But I loved him. Of course, created by Jack Kirby, partially. And he started out kind of like just trying to be like a Batman type, and similarly, he had the gadgets and all that good stuff. But this, of course, is from the hard traveling heroes era, the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil stuff. But you know what? He was heroic. He wanted to be like a Robin Hood type, and he was a fun-loving kind of guy. And I don't know, I just always loved him. And he's had a lot of interesting portrayals in cartoons and things like that as well. Like I say, the Longbow Hunters isn't for everyone in terms of very graphic or things like that. I loved him when he was with Green Lantern, his buddy Hal Jordan and stuff like that, though. And I just always loved this character. I love that costume. I can't stand when they de-emphasize the Robin Hood look to him. So, anyway, Ollie Queen, ladies and gentlemen.
Oliver Queen, there you go.
Love him. My second favorite Legionnaire is next at what's that?
Yeah, you got he's awesome. Go keep going.
Okay. Is again another tragic figure. I don't know what it is with me with tragic superheroes. I mean, a lot of them are. Well, most of them are in some way. But I mean, this guy comes to Earth. He'd had contact with Jor-El.
Right.
Comes to Earth, loses his memory. Superboy thinks it's his long lost big brother. He was called Superboy's brother. He's got all the powers and everything. Then we find out, of course,
he's a Daxamite.
That he's a Daxamite, exactly, and vulnerable to lead.
Yep.
What's fascinating about his story is he has no choice but to put him into the Phantom Zone to keep him alive till a cure can be found, and there's no cure until it's been 1,000 years to the time of the Legion of Superheroes in the Phantom Zone, and he came out messed up, sure, but still a great hero.
Right.
And I just love it.
Yeah, that's Valor.
Mon-El is my favorite hero, my favorite Legionnaire not named Superboy.
Yeah, Valor.
It's not a phone number. Tony's back. The wonderful Wonder Woman. I have to send you a link through Facebook Messenger. This is not a phone thing anymore. Not a phone call thing, but I will send you a link if you can get through it. If you want to, embarrass me in front of all the boys, But if you can get through, Wonder Woman, I'm gonna send you a link. But Mon-El, dude, man.
Yeah, they called him Valor.
I hated that. To me, he's Largand. I hated that later. That's later though. That's after that certain point I was telling you about that I don't accept.
Oh,
so, yeah, I hated it.
Okay.
In fact, I had a friend of mine.
I remember all of it. So I'm.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm with. No, I understand. I had a friend of mine who was an airbrush artist. I had him airbrush me a shirt. In fact, right after that came out,
right,
and it said, he had Mon-El ripping the word Valor apart, saying my ass, basically Valor my ass. I'm Mon-El.
Yeah.
I had to do that. I was so proud. But I sent you a link on Facebook Messenger, Tony. If you can follow it through there, if you hit it, you should be able to get through that way. Some people have trouble getting through on phones. I don't know. If not, you can do it through. If you don't know if you're near a computer where you can use a headset, but if not, you could try using the phone. We'll see if that works. If not, text me and let me know, because there's no way to. This is a different format. It's in your Yahoo. Not Yahoo. Shit. It's on Facebook Messenger. I sent it to you. You just click on the link and see if that works. And that's 16. He's number 16 there, Mon-El. Let's see here. Let's get our next one. And now, folks, I'm really in trouble. We are in almost the last stretch here. We are now 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. And my number 15 is, I put both versions of him because it's important. I think nice Perez rendition there. Dick Grayson, Robin, aka Nightwing.
Yeah.
I love Dick Grayson, man. I love the character of Dick Grayson.
Yeah, me too. He
is special. He is the greatest of all the sidekicks. People like to make fun of sidekicks and all that kind of shit, But I love him. And
yeah, man. I mean,
he's because he did become Batman.
I mean, he's the reason why I got these. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. He's fantastic. So yeah. Why even go? You don't have to go that far into it. The next couple of ones are going to be pretty easy. Nice. Oh my God, is that a Garcia Lopez cover? I'm not sure. I can't tell. But great. Love Dick Grayson. And I love this next guy. Created well for the comic books as a superhero version as by Kirby, of course, Kirby and Lee. Odin's son, as some have called him, Thor.
Thor, yeah.
Yeah, everyone. We don't have to. Again, some of these ones we're getting to next. You don't have to talk that much about them because people don't really know. They don't know about him.
That's when he was Donald Blake, right?
God of Thunder, and that would be when he would strike the stick on the ground and turn into Donald Blake.
Donald Blake.
I like Donald Blake. I like that old.
I kind of miss Donald Blake being around, man. I miss that whole alter ego shit. That's
It was kind of them trying to do like a Captain Marvel type deal, sort of with the
right. Yeah, with the Rick Jones,
influence with even before it was like I think they were trying to give that kind of a. It's similar, you got a person changing into a god type thingy. But yeah, great comic. Again, I love the character of Thor. He's so great. I mean, he's a better character than even his comics, in a sense. Right. But I love the usually, but except for the Kirby run, the Simonson run, all things you got to check out if you have it. And 15, 14, and my 13 is, of course, because everyone knows how much I love the Fantastic Four. No big secret here. The Fantastic Four are my all-time favorite comic ever, especially the Lee Kirby run, but I love them all. And so there's no way I can make a list and not have all four of them in there. And Sue Storm Richards, is the very life blood of, this is a Kirby rendering, of course, in the heart of the Fantastic Four. And I hearken back to, there were some not so good issues of the comic What If from the 70s, but there was one really good one called What If Sue Richards, what if the Invisible Girl had died? It was called Invisible Girl, and she's Invisible Girl now, Invisible Woman now. Right. And it was pertaining to when she gave in childbirth, she almost died giving birth to Franklin.
Oh.
And when they fought a nihilist to get that special element to save her life. And in this story, she did die. And the whole comic is about, they failed to get that from a nihilist, and he messed everything up, so they couldn't. And it's all about everyone. A lot of it's about Sue's funeral. And it's well written by Peter Gillis, and you kind of find out why she's so important to the Fantastic Four, why she's so important to the superhero community in the Marvel. And they all love her so much, and she's so special. And so much it drives Reed insane. Reed, just after it's over, gets mad with vengeance. She was kind of kept him in check. And goes after a nihilist, and Submariner himself, but out of respect for Sue's memory, goes and has to stop him from killing a nihilist or getting himself killed. Great story. And again, it's just, I think it shows how important Sue is to the FF. They all are, though. All four of them are. So she's a cornerstone of that group, in my opinion. Now, my next character, of course, at number 12, lovely Gil Kane rendering there of Daredevil. He's actually not the first character called Daredevil in comics history. There was a Golden Age one. Daredevil and the little, whatever they were called now. I forget, the little outlaws or whatever. And the three, I forgot what those kids were called. But anyway, this one I love, though. Matt Murdock. The yellow costume, okay, I kind of like it in some ways, but I love this red one.
Yeah, I like the red one.
I love, a lot of people forget this. I do love the Miller Daredevil.
The Frank Miller, of course. That was
right. I love that. I was very young. Yeah. I was a teen when that was coming out. You can imagine how exciting I was to see a comic book that, yes, dark and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, for about 16 years before that comic came out, I'm including all of Daredevil. Don't get me wrong, but this Daredevil was a little bit different. He hung out with Spider-Man and other superheroes. And again, he's such a wonderful character because this is a blind man who's pretty much the man without fear. I mean, jumping off a building to shit when you're blind, it ain't no joke, dude. Even radar sense or not. Right. And he was a great character. He was in one of the greatest comics ever in the Silver Age when he fought the Submariner and got the crap kicked out of him and kept coming until he got beaten unconscious. Later, same thing with the Hulk. He did. Man Without Fear. Murdoch is a wonderful character, and he was a lot lighter in tone until Miller got a hold to him. But Daredevil Born Again, though, by Frank Miller is one of the greatest comics ever written. So, it's just brilliant. And number 11 is a guy also who inherited a name. Yeah. Johnny Storm. On the same page with his sister, of course. The Human Torch. The second Human Torch, to be precise. With a great Kirby rendering right there. I just love this guy. I don't have to go too far into it. He's a member of my wonderful Fantastic Four. But I love Johnny. It just works that he's the hothead of the group, you know?
Yeah, the fire guys like El Toro.
Yeah, he's that, man. And I love him.
Shit, El Toro, that's an old school name of, he's one of the first also.
Yeah. Well, and I love this guy. And he I love the way he's picked on Ben and things like that. So right. I love him. Yeah, you're right. Almighty Hulk did tear up old Daredevil pretty good there. So next group. Now we're into the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. So we're almost done, and we'll almost wrapped up here. And we don't have to go too long with them because we're now 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 right here, folks.
Oh.
And I love all these people. I mean, I love them. I love everyone, all of them on my list. And I love the Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
I've loved him ever since. The first time I ever saw him was at a Power Records, which I loved. This first time I saw the FF also. Power Records, the Incredible Hulk fighting the Abomination and the Rhino, the Incredible Hulk at bay. And this, of course, a great Buscema, I think of Buscema Chua or Ernie Channing there, Hulk. And again, call me old-fashioned, buddy. I love Hulk Smash Hulk. There have been many variations. I like the Hulk Smash Hulk, but I will tell you this. If I'm being honest, and again, I've been hearkening back to cartoons a lot, in my opinion, probably the greatest characterization I've ever seen of the Incredible Hulk, outside of comics, and maybe better than most of the ones I've seen in comics, was on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Hulk is brilliantly written on that show. Better than anything I've ever seen, probably. Just so good. And the whole, Banner's not in it a lot, but even when Banner's on there. And it's just a thing. It's beautiful. It's really amazing how well he's written. He's not quite the dumb Hulk you see here with the Hulk Smash Hulk.
Right.
He's a little bit smarter than that, but he's not he doesn't necessarily have Bruce Banner's intelligence either, but he kind of somewhere in between. He's pretty smart. It's brilliant. But either way, I just love the Hulk, man. I don't know. What is it about that guy? I love monster characters, man, I guess. Another tragic character, buddy.
Right, there you go.
Let's go to 9.
Shit.
Let's see here.
Barry Allen.
Wi-Fi sucks. Oh, that's okay. Anything you want to tell me, though, I'll definitely put up there, dear. I mean, I'm sorry. It's now again, you could do it through your phone. You might get through if you go to your Facebook. But I don't know if it doesn't work or not. I mean, I would love to have you on, and I love Wonder Woman. I know she's too low, but I love her. I'm a dead man. We're still going to see Wonder Woman 1984, are we? Just let me know that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, was it Mark C? The Hulk Power record was first. Oh, man, I had the Fantastic Four when the Hulk, when the Captain America, Spider-Man. I love Power Records. You familiar with Power Records 24?
I don't remember that.
When I was a kid, they came out some around 60s, early 70s. It's how I taught myself how to read. What it was it was a reprint comic of a Marvel or DC comic, right?
Right.
But it came with a little, those little 45 records that you played on a record player.
Oh, actually, I got one coming to me. Yeah, matter of fact, I've been looking at a bunch of them lately. Dude.
Okay. Well,
if
what
you
it would
look them
do?
up online, some
Yeah,
of
they're
them.
all
They either 45s or they're actual records.
right.
Dude.
Yeah, the 45 is like a little play of the comic book.
Okay.
A radio play.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. Is your mic down? I can barely hear you there. You all right?
No, I was saying, yeah, I remember that. I got 3 record players and I got the little thing that you put in the middle to hold the 45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I love those. That's how I learned how to read the Power Records. Shame to say, I guess. Now, my next guy, you know what? One of my favorite things about this next guy to me, I just love Barry Allen so much as the Flash, the second Flash. I love the fact, little known fact now probably that's been forgotten. Barry Allen collected comic books. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, he
loved comics. He loved the Flash.
He used to read the Jay Garrick Flash comic.
Yes, and he thought it was a comic book. Of course, that's a whole convoluted part of DC lore where DC was, the Earth 1, which really should have been Earth 2 if you think about it.
Exactly. I always thought the same shit. I always thought that. I always thought that. I never understood that, man.
No, I didn't either. I was always, as a kid, I was like, why are you doing this? But, what can I tell you? But I love Barry Allen. Don't have to go too far into it because y'all know how great he is. And he, again, another tragic character just by accident because he got treated like dog shit. Like shit in the late 70s, early 80s. Right. Not just with crappy art either. I mean, they tortured that poor son of a bitch, so they finally killed him in Crisis. Man, there you go. Well, Neil Adams did new material for the Power Records. Yes, that's true. But Marvel did reprints. Okay. But you're right. That is true, Mark. And I have some of those. But I got the Marvel ones first. And the Marvel one, for example, the Fantastic Four one is a reprint of Fantastic Four number 126, The Way It Began. But
so what it is, it's kind of like listening to an audio drama.
Yeah, it's a book and record. And the thing is, at that time.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I remember.
Right. I would memorize the records and I would look at the words on the pages. And I was like, because I was in learning disability classes and I had trouble reading that helped me learn how to read. I had to pretty much use that. I would memorize. And that's how I learned words and structures and things like that as a kid. Because the garbage Louisiana educational system being what it was at the time. And yes, let's see. We got RR. The Hulk shows us that even without our consciousness and control of our actions, we have a core virtue that guides us and our shadow passions. The Hulk is a hero and not a monster because of this core. I love that, RR. I love it, man, because it's so true. The Hulk always did the right thing. I mean, he would fight, and even if he wasn't sure what, even not just because he was, and even in Defenders when he was being manipulated by Doctor Strange to use his power, he did what was right, and he would fight a villain, and he would never hurt somebody. He is a total hero. I love the Hulk. RR, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. And yes, Adams did the Star Trek comics for Power Records. I love Power Records, man. I
didn't even know that. I remember when I saw Neil Adams last year. Man.
Oh yeah, he did Star Trek, Superman ones, Batman ones, and all that stuff. Yeah, but he's right though. Adams did a lot of the DC ones, but the Marvel ones were reprints, or at least most of them. I know. But see, now it wasn't always just a booking record. Some of them were like a big 33 album with just audio. I had a Conan one though. I had all the Marvel ones and some of the DCs.
Dude, I'm starting to find them online, and they're going for like anywhere from $2 or $3, all the way to like maybe $25-$30, depending if it's still sealed. If it's still sealed and it's brand new, shit, they'll fucking double the price on it.
Yeah.
So I know there's a 33 and a half of Shazam that I'm looking at. Still sealed. Personally wants like $14, and I'm like, oh fuck! But a 33 in one of those sealed, and I just seen it yesterday. I was like, wow,
nice.
I mean, it's cool if I can get it, but because I'm not like I said, I'm buying all this shit pennies off the dollar, just on auction. So it's it's not easy, but I mean there's a lot of stuff available, to catch up with all that stuff. I'm starting to see that, man, it's possible. It's possible. That's the reason why I got my hands on some of the shit that I got my hands on that I'm showing you, is because for little or nothing, a lot of people are willing to auction it off or just sell it just to get rid of it. So I mean, the sky's the limit on finding stuff like this.
Yeah, it is, man. It's amazing stuff. Power Records was my favorite when I was a kid. Oh yeah, RR, man. Yeah, they're great, dude. I need to go back. I have the Planet of the Apes one. I have, of course, a couple of the Superman ones. I have and I have that my FF one there. But there are other ones I need to try to get. So, and Channel 9. Number 8, I'm sure you're all familiar with as well. You know, this guy, he stretches a lot, and he's my big stretchy hero in here. Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. I love him. Smartest man in the Marvel Universe, in my opinion.
Hey, Mike, hey, could you hold on for a second? Somebody's knocking on the door. Hold on. Okay, I'll be right back.
No problem, man. I'm here. I'm going to go on with this while you're doing that.
All right.
I love this guy. And I think one of the cool things about him is his brain is almost as much of a superpower as his superpower. Yes, because his superpower is just taken from Plastic Man, naturally, which I love Plastic Man, by the way. He's later down after 50 on my list. So, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. As modest as it may sound, I will call myself Mr. Fantastic. It was not modest at all. And I know 24 is going to want to talk about this next one, so I'm going to give him a second to get here. Tony, beautiful Wonder Woman, if you're still listening. Hey, I'm sorry you couldn't get in. I wish you could. But, you know, we got to talk. Yeah, you're probably not hearing me anymore, but let's talk later if you want to. Oh, the Wonder Woman one, yeah. That's a cool one there. 33, yeah. So, anyway, my next one, why don't you go ahead next one? He might be a while. I'm not sure what he's doing there. I'm sure you all remember this guy. And he's not a wizard named Shazam. But he says the name of a wizard. This guy does. Or well, they both can say it. And he turns in. He can turn into him. He can turn into him. By saying the name of a wizard. But his name is Captain Marvel. He's the first one. He's the god. Another, in a sense, another tragic character, at least in comic book history parlance. Captain Marvel's one of the most tragic characters ever. What happened to him, what national periodical publications did to Captain Marvel. What national? I'm doing another tragic character. You all right, bud?
Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. I appreciate that.
No problem, buddy. I'm doing another tragic character here at number 7. One near and dear to your heart as well, my friend, 24. And as I was saying, his name is not fucking Shazam.
No, it's not.
He says the word.
That's the biggest misconception of him.
Oh. But the reason why he's a tragic character is because not so much in the comics, it's the way he's been treated by the goddamn comic companies, by national periodical publications in the big Fawcett DC lawsuit that cost him 20 years of his comic book life. Later coming back and not even be able to use his own name on the cover of his own comics, but it was at least he came back, got his own TV show. It was all right for a while. And then later, thoroughly abused by that sack of shit, Jeff Johns, of course.
Jeff Johns.
Yeah, I know. I like to jag off.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel the exact same way.
It's horrible.
You know the thing that I find disappointing about this and about him, about Captain Marvel, is the fact that from what I heard, and I mean you might know better than me, so maybe you can school me on this, but I heard that DC could have won the lawsuit with Marvel, and I heard they just gave up.
You mean with Fawcett?
No, with Marvel over Captain Marvel.
Oh, that, yeah, they could have. They could have paid. In fact, they could have paid $4,600 and got the name back, and they didn't do it. Martin Goodman was a jackass, but yeah, you're right. That's true. But yeah, that's Captain Marvel, and I love him, and I love that CC Beck, and then I think that might be a Schaffenberger after Beck, but it might be a Beck. That's a Beck. I don't know. I grabbed it because it looks CC Beck. I should, but who cares? Right. Number Number 6. You are number 6.
Oh,
what can I say about Hal? What can I say about Hal, man? In Brightest Day and Blackest Night, no evil ever escaped his sight. He is the greatest Green Lantern of them all. And there's a reason why the Green Lantern Corps himself constantly refer to Hal Jordan as the greatest Green Lantern in the universe. Of them all. And I love me some Green Lantern. I love some other ones, but I hate Kyle Rayner, but I love other ones. And Alan Scott, I love. He is later down on my list,
Oh, okay.
He's not in the top 4, 5. He's not in the top 50, but I love him. I love him to death. People don't understand that. If you're in the top 100, I love the character. But let's see here.
Yeah, Hal Jordan. Shit. Oh man, there's so much to say about him.
He's the man to me, and I hate what they did to him with the Parallax bullshit and turning him into the Spectre. And I love the Spectre. Spectre's also way down farther up my list, and I love him too. But Jesus, man.
Yeah, the thing when
I do like.
It's funny. It's funny. Did you watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths TV show?
No, I didn't. I've heard a lot of things about it, but I can't stand the CW stuff. I'm not saying it's bad. I believe you. Everyone likes it, but I never sat there and watched it.
Well, it's crazy when you see how they turn the Arrow Oliver Queen into the Spectre, like if he was Hal Jordan.
I heard about it.
Oh man, it's the worst shit, man. I mean, when you just see how it all came about, and it's like you looking at it, it's horrible. You would be so upset that you're like, damn, this is you trying to treat this dude like if he's Green Lantern going through the shit, and dude, this is Christ on Infinite Earths. How can you? It's like you're putting two storylines together.
Yeah, I can't stand the CW, man. They make me want to puke. Well, who's ready for the top 5? I know you just can't wait. I know you're all just so excited. Because I know that you're going to see all 5 of them. And I know the number 1 is going to be a shocker, my friends. Get ready. You better be sitting down. Because there's no way in hell any of you could guess what number 1 is. You are going to be so shocked. You might just fall down onto the ground in shock. You may want to call an ambulance right now, because Brother Power the Geek is number 1. Just get ready. Just kidding. And if you know who that is, you get some points. And by the way, the picture for my number 1 technically is not him, but it's a great picture of him, and I just put it on there because it annoys people. So anyway, without further ado, like I used to say on the old Dr. Demento show, it's time for number 1. This is it. Here we are, number 1. And I'm not going to sing anymore because I'm not Doomcock, and you don't want me to. Here we go, folks. The big reveal is the top 5, and yeah, they're 2 of one guy because you'll see why. Yeah, who's shocked? Raise your hand. Come on, I know you are. Number 5. Well, I mean, look at him, dude. Who doesn't love that costume and that guy? I mean, it doesn't have to be anyone else's favorite or anything, but man, there's got to love Spidey on some kind of level. I adore the amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I love him. I love the Ditko run. I love the Ramita run.
Yeah.
I love the Gil Kane, Ross Andrew. It's sort of Stone Boy in a way. In a sense, it's Stone Boy, Mark. Stone Boy, if anyone doesn't know, is a member of the Legion of Substitute Heroes. But at least it's not Arm Fall Off Boy. By the way, that's not made up. And it's not Fortress Lad either, but Fortress Lad almost made my 100 list. It didn't even make my 100. And I'll have to explain that one day. But yes, I'm not kidding. There was a fucking Arm Fall Off Boy. Comics are silly. What am I going to tell you? I mean, the word, there's a character called Matter Eater Lad. It's not my fault.
Oh, yeah, I know Matter Eater Lad, yeah. Yeah, that motherfucker can eat anything, yeah. Yep.
Yes, yep. Now, again, it might be a cool power to have, but I'd come up with a different name, personally. It was the 60s, buddy. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
There you go.
Does whatever.
Hey, did you like the 67 cartoon?
Oh, God, yeah. Dude, that's pretty much how I got started on. That's the first time I ever saw him, was that. The 60s cartoon. Well, I was about like 3 years old, man.
Yeah, the 67 between that and seeing him on the Electric Company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it. I mean, that's where I first saw him.
He didn't even talk. He was saying,
Nope. But I watched every one of them.
Me too.
Oh, I didn't miss the Electric Company, dude.
Shit, between him and Morgan Freeman, what can you say, right?
I even bought, yeah, exactly. Easy Reader. I love Easy Reader. I even bought Spidey Super Stories for a while. So I love Spidey. You don't have to go too far into it. We all know who he is. We all know him. You love him. You can't live without him. A lovely, the great Ramita and Ramita. I know it's blasphemy. I love Ditko. Right. Ramita's probably my favorite Spider-Man artist, and I love Kane. I still love Ditko. Don't shoot me. I'm already in enough trouble as it is tonight, folks. I got a friend of mine who would probably chop my head off if I heard me say that. But number 4, when he throws his mighty shield, folks, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. Captain America, Steve Rogers. I love him. And again, you don't have to say much because we all know. We all know who and what he is. He is extraordinary. Who doesn't, R says, who doesn't like Spider-Man, and his famous saying, with great power comes great responsibility, is true and it's famous as power corrupts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a wonderful saying.
Yeah, R. Yeah, he's on
right, R.
Mark D. Yeah, they're on point.
Cap. I love you, Cap. I mean, you are an inspiration to me. Of course, we got a wonderful Kirby cap that was from his return to Captain America in the Bronze Age in the 70s, and I love it. So, yeah, don't have to go too far. I love that costume. Look,
man,
no movie costume will ever make me happy like a comic book costume. Go ahead.
Did you like U.S. Agent?
I never got into him too much. I read some of them, though, but I remember the era. I kind of skipped a lot of that.
Yeah. U.S. Agent was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And he had that black suit, that black. I love the black Captain America suit because that was what Steve Rogers had to wear when he gave up being Captain America.
Oh yeah. And by the way, during Spider-Man's was it 50th anniversary back in 2012? Or 60th, I'm sorry. Or was it 50th? One of those. On my show, my buddy Flash, who does the show with me, Rotten Bastard, he'll be back next week, I hope. But sometime he'll come when he can. Everyone, those who know Flash, he arranged for a guest that we had on from that we had celebrating Spider-Man, and that was Mr. Nicholas Hammond, who played Spider-Man on the 70s TV show.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah, we had him on the show, talked to him for about 20 minutes, 30. What a cool dude, man. Great guy.
Oh, shit. Dude, I've been looking for his runs of Spider-Man. Bro, I was thinking, dude, if they ever did like the live action Into the Spider-Verse, they got to include this motherfucker in there. They got to put him in there. It wouldn't, dude. If you're talking about covering him with the Spider-Verse that they're talking about, why not bring everybody, including him, in there?
I'll try to find that one, RR, and I'll post it to the site if I can find it.
Oh man, when you said his name, I just jumped up like, what? I was like,
dude, what a nice guy, man. You know what's great about Nicholas Hammond? He was in the Sound of Music, and he was on a Brady Bunch episode. And people always ask him, by the way, Mark C, that's a great idea. Let me know. We'll do our top 50 artists. That's a date, brother. Let's do it, man. So he was and he said the most things he gets known the most for are Sound of Music, Brady Bunch episode, and Spider-Man, of course. And he acts in Australia. He still does stuff.
Man.
And I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna go try to find that Nicholas Hammond. It was only like 15, 20 minutes because he was busy, and he was in Australia at the time. We were doing it at night. Right. But such a cool. What I liked about him was when I was looking at his IMDb and his list of shows he's been on Gunsmoke, Magnum PI, all these other things, and I was asking him about that stuff. And a lot of times, if an actor will go, "It was just a job, man. I don't remember that 40 years ago, whatever." Every bit of it, he was as proud as he could be that he was on a classic like Gunsmoke.
Man, I tell you, the first time I ever seen Spider-Man, between that cartoon, the Electric Company, it was him. And if it's between the Electric Company, seeing him in the 60s cartoon, watching Nicholas Hammond, and just whatever Spider-Man comic book I can get at that time, dude, that's the 4 ways you got Spider-Man. That's and if you can possibly get them on a record, which was available back then. So that's the 5 ways you get Spider-Man, dude. He was the introduction to a lot of people on watching the live action Spider-Man. Dude, and since then, it was the Electric Company Spider-Man where he was all quiet, he didn't even speak and shit. I mean, you remember that?
Yeah. The other surprise we had was well, all right, we did Cap. We love Cap and everything. And this next guy, do you guys know who he is? Because I got another old sort of surprise guest story to talk about with this one a little. Anyone can guess who this guy is? With the black cape and the gray. I mean, anyone know him? Anybody ever heard of this guy? Bat. Yeah, the Bat, baby. I love Batman. Batman started it all for me. Adam West Batman is the reason we are here tonight. Because as a dude, I'm old, as you know. Less than 2 years old, the Batman TV show had first appeared. I love that show, and that was serious as a heart attack to me, you know. And I'll explain the complicated philosophy of the 3 phases of Batman later. But needless to say, they say my first word was Batman. Running around singing, you know, Batman, 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 singing the song, running around in a diaper and a towel as a cape. That's why I'm the sicko geek I am today. And I just love Batman. It can be funny as Adam West. It can be the Dark Knight detective. I don't like him going too dark, but this is, of course, a wonderful Marshall Rogers, Terry Austin rendition. Fantastic. I love this character so much. I mean, you don't have to go too far because we all know who he is. He's Batman. Love him. And thank you there, RR. Now this next, I have 2 there for a reason, because for me, the Superman that I love and prefer, the lore I love the most, encompasses some golden, all silver, and most all Bronze Age Superman mythos. I don't have much in my heart for anything after that. I love this character, Superman, so much. By the way, he's number 1 in terms of the greatest superhero of all. But so I've got Superboy and Superman together because he was the adventures, as it often said on his comic, the adventures of Superman as a boy. So Kurt Swan there, and a Kurt Swan, George Klein on the Superman there. Kurt Swan's my favorite Superman artist. I love this, and I love this character. I love Superboy so much. I love Wayne Boring. That's not a Wayne Boring. That's a Kurt Swan.
I mean, but are we talking Earth 1 or Earth 2 Superman?
No, I love the Earth 2 Superman too. They kind of later relegated it to Golden Age. Yes, anything from 38 to 86. So I love it. But of course, my favorite is the Silver Age into the Bronze Age version when he was Superboy, hanging out with the Legion, and grew up into Superman. Okay. So anyway, by the way, Mark C's got his top. He's got, let's see, The Thing. So his number 1 is Superman, 2 is Cap, 3 Batman, 4 the Hulk, 5 the Thing. We reach, brother. Love them all. Love those choices, buddy.
Yeah. You know, you guys are pretty close on that one.
So there's Superman, and now we got to talk about my big number 1. Yes, by the way, I know this is technically this drawing is not. It's by wonderful Kirby and Joe Sinnott. Technically, it's from the cover of Fantastic Four 51, and that guy right there is someone else in Ben Grimm's Rocky form of the Thing. It's an imposter, but it's still a great cover. So I always like to. I just used it because it looks good. And it's the thing. It's, you know, he looks. It doesn't matter. It's just for visual reference. But some wise guy's going to come along and say, you know, that's because it happened on my Facebook page. And he said, came on, you know, that's not really the Thing in that image, right? I said, what do you fucking think? I don't know that. I have Fantastic Four number 51. Not trying to brag or anything. I have this comic signed by Jack Kirby personally. I think I know the contents. Well, yeah, wow. I had Jack Kirby sign it the first time I met him.
Right.
And so yeah, I think I know a little bit about this guy. And again, I'm being arrogant. I know. I'm sorry, but the ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing is my all-time favorite superhero. And what I love about Ben, you know, we'll go quick with it, but what I love him so much is, excuse me, most of the time, and I guess that's why I love the tragic characters or the monster characters. Because a lot of times when a person in a superhero universe
right
gets turned into a monster, if you will,
right, like Beast,
right, or something like that, most of the time they turn into villains. If you read the early issues of the FF, Ben walked the precipice of that, and he was angry. Obviously, he was angry. Obviously, he was turned into a big lump of rocks. Who wouldn't be? Yeah, it's really the thing. It's not Big Ram. That's a good point there, Mark. Fair enough. But anyway, I just picked it because I love that image, and it has him in a brooding position because the Thing was a brooding character, especially early on in the FF comics. And he was walking that precipice. And you didn't, if you're reading that comic as a kid, you go, wow, is he going to turn bad or something? Because he was pissed off. And there were times he didn't want to help out or anything. And he wanted to beat the shit out of Reed for doing this to him. And and he developed,
Right.
So he's my all-time favorite character. I know you're all shocked to death. Sorry about not having Brother Powell the Geek on there. One side note, since we were talking about the Nicholas Hammond thing in the old show, on Batman, when we did an anniversary of Batman. It was it was the 75th or something like that. One night we did oh, cool. We're gonna do that artist show. Anyway, if you want to do it tomorrow, was tomorrow enough time? I don't know. It's possible, but I got to go to work the next day, though. I don't know. If not, we'll do it Saturday. But anyway, before I forget about it, so like that Spider-Man anniversary, we're doing a Batman anniversary show. And my friend Flash, he used to do a show where he interviewed some celebrities and stuff on his Blog Talk Radio show, and we were both on Block Radio. That's how we met. And he and I were he's my often co-host. Well, this time he set up the Nicholas Hammond thing, but it wasn't a surprise. But this time he says tonight, and he had my friend Carlos, who was on here last week with me. We were all talking Batman animated series, and all this other than just Batman in general, because we all love Batman. And he said, I got a surprise guest coming in. Not going to tell you, it is a surprise. We're going to have a surprise guest. I said, wow, what, really? Okay. So we're talking, and the show's going on. He says, I'm not sure when he's going to come on, but I'll let you know. So we're talking. Finally, he doesn't even, I think Carlos is in the middle of telling me some stupid story at some con. And then he says, wait, I'm breaking in now, Mike. He says, I got that guest here, whatever. And he said, here he is. And this voice comes over. And he says, oh, wait a minute. I wanted to hear what happened with the rest of that story. Tell me about it. And he sounded familiar. And it turned out, again, this is going to be obscure. Do you love Batman the Animated Series as much as I love the show? I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Right. Yeah. Matter of fact, Kevin Conroy.
I wish it was him. But it was Lauren Lester. It was Lauren Lester who does the voice of Robin on Batman the Animated Series. He's a very well-known character actor. Maybe not well-known, but anyway, look, by the way, my friend, his son, Flash's son, did have Mark Hamill on a couple of shows. And if we'd have got Mark Hamill, it would have been insane.
Oh,
but
wow.
Still, Lauren Lester, it's a guy who did a voice on Batman Animated Series, and I've seen him in a lot of different stuff. And he came on, and I was like, man, that is just, again, he's not as popular as Nicholas Hammond, I guess, but that was pretty cool for us.
Right.
We had a good time, and it was very nice of him to come on. So, yeah, but Nicholas Hammond, I'm gonna have to try to dig that show out and of the archive and put it on here. The only old show I got from the old up here on my channel right now is the interview I did with Doomcock back in 2019. But I'm good. Doomcock has been telling me I need to put old shows up here. So I guess I will. And I need to put that.
Yeah. The thing is, bro, you got too much knowledge and too much experience to, for people not to see that shit, with what you got going on right now. I mean, that's.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. I love geeking, man.
Yeah, you're awesome, man.
You are too, man. I really enjoy talking to you. By the way, the artist show, I don't know, man. If you want to take a stab at it tomorrow, I guess I'd have to throw a list of 50 together, Mark. Do you have yours thrown together that quickly? If we did it like tomorrow afternoon or something? I know I got some stuff I got to do in the afternoon.
Well, I tell you what, just as a suggestion between the both of y'all, y'all can both do a top 20, and that way you can do your 20, you can do his 20. It wouldn't have to be, so much thought, and it'll be enough to fill up a whole show between the both of y'all.
You have a list already of 50, dude? What? I mean, I could make a list. I mean, it's easy. I did one by era before. You want to do? What if we did 25? That's why we usually do our list. Flash and I've done. I don't know if I told you about the 24. But before that, let me read RR's thing he wrote. When the thing is written correctly, he is a rich and multidimensional character that is the most human of superheroes at dealing with his human emotions as well as human cruelty towards the different. That's so true, man. I love Ben Grimm. That is so true. Very good. I'll recommend some great comics with him. So if you want to do, okay, you want to do 25 tomorrow, or do you want to do it next Saturday, Mark? And what's best for you, bud? Because I got to get up at 3 a.m. Monday morning, so I don't know if I can do a long live stream tomorrow night. Besides, you got the Inquisition going on tomorrow night and all that kind of stuff, and all those guys doing,
Well,
shit, maybe before that.
But maybe if you kick it off a little earlier, then
Yeah, we can do it tomorrow. Well, yeah. I mean, okay, fix up a time and I'll schedule it. But if you want to do it tomorrow, that'd be great. I can whip up 25 all-time favorite comic book artists, because that's what Mark and I love to talk about comic book art.
I'd definitely be tuning into that. So I would love to see it.
I appreciate that, man. That's very nice.
Oh, of course, man. Shit, I'm here now, man. I'm not going nowhere. Hey, I tell you what, you stuck with me now. So
hey, dude, you kidding me, man? I'm glad to have you. You're a cool dude, man. I love talking about. I love geeking out tomorrow. So let's see, what would be a good time? What you want to do? Daytime, Mark? But let's see. Like midday, maybe, or I don't know, man.
That'd be awesome. I'll definitely be.
It's 1 o'clock. Cool, or I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. I'll be there.
Oh, he wants to do. You want to do 5 p.m.? I mean, I guess I could do 5 p.m. because that way I got a lot of stuff I got to do with my mom and dad's first. If I hope 5 p.m. is okay for everybody else.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see y'all.
I appreciate that, man. Now let's see. What would be, since it's only fair, 24, my new friend 24/7. Who is your favorite superhero? I mean, you've seen ours. We know Mark's. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a number one? Not easy, I know, putting you on the spot because you never know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. If you'd asked me when I was a little kid, it would have been Robin. If you'd asked me when I was a teenager, it would have been the Hulk. If you'd have asked me, now it'd have to be Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Great choice, buddy. I love him. I love that guy. I mean, I love the big red cheese, man.
That's
They're just doing the fact they're just doing a trade paperback. I know you love like buying the regular issues, and I do too. But I love trades and hardcovers sometimes, and they're going to do a compilation of the Don Newton Captain Marvel, Shazam, Captain Marvel issues that were originally in I think Adventure Comics, were they? Well, they were in the Shazam book, and then later they went to Adventure Comics, I think.
Yeah, actually, I have that run of because he was they had Shazam stories at the end of that's Adventure Comics or Action.
Adventure.
Okay, I think I might have missed that because they had a story on the backhand side of Superman Action Comics. And I have that run where they had like 3 or 4 pages dedicated to Captain Marvel, Shazam. A lot of people didn't know. See, that's the thing. When I collect, if I like a hero, if he gets appeared in somebody else's comic book, I pick that shit up. And there was like a lot of comic books that heroes were floating around. Like you'd have, for example, you have Captain Marvel, Shazam. On the backhand side of Action Comics, you even had Green Lantern on the backhand side of Action Comics, for a limited amount of issues. You would find, for an example, Aquaman, or like the Red Tornado, or somebody on the back end side of a lot of comics, and
yes,
and I picked up a lot of Shazam and a lot of other characters like Aquaman was floating around between Adventure Comics and a lot of other, and I would pick them up.
Yeah. I love
it. And like I have a Legion 93 where Shazam, Captain Marvel fought Lobo.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, that was later than that was in the 90s, of course. Lobo.
Right, I think that was part of War of the Gods series.
Yeah, I was never a big Lobo guy personally, but I know he was popular at the time.
Right.
He was a fad kind of. The DC wanted a Wolverine in the worst way. That was one of the things about Lobo.
Right.
Ace Cast Iron, my great friend, my longtime buddy. Love you, man. I'm so glad you're here, buddy. Let it pop in. I know he's a big fan of this gent, a lot of these gents, of course, but he's a big Superman fan as well. So, but anyway, that's a great choice. I love Captain Marvel. I love the only thing that more iconic than Captain Marvel Superman fights, quote unquote, are Thing Hulk fights. Thing Hulk fights are the greatest to me, but I do love a good, some of the dust ups between Captain Marvel and Superman, especially the Rich Buckler Treasury edition, tabloid edition, which is titled Shazam, Superman versus Shazam. Right. God, that was beautiful. I love that book.
Man, I tell you, there's classic fights that you can find. The Thing Hulk, Wolverine Hulk, Captain Marvel Shazam against Superman, or let's say when Superman races against the Flash.
Love it. I had the my man, dude. When I bought that, I had the big reprint Treasury of that, or tabloid of that. And then when I was a kid, it blew my mind. I'm saying, wait a minute, Superman and Flash in a foot race? I gotta have this, man.
Right.
$2. It was amazing.
And then you had like Superman racing against Wally West.
Yes, he did later down.
And I mean, but it's different things like that. Yeah, I mean, shit. That's some good stuff, man.
Good stuff. I love it, buddy. I love it, man. It's great stuff. Where are we? Well, we did them all now, everyone. We got through the list, and of course, I'm a dead man now for what I did with I probably won't survive to tomorrow. Wonder Woman's going to kill me, but in all earnest, I don't know if she's listening. If you're listening, Wonder Woman, I love you. There you go. Thing versus Hulk fights are the best. Yeah. Oh man, I love them. But I love Superman, Captain Marvel fights. Remember, I was telling you last time you were here, before DC was able to use Captain Marvel.
Captain Thunder.
There's Captain Thunder when I was telling you about. So yeah. Right. Treasury edition of Superman, Captain Marvel. It's bug nuts. Is it expensive now? Really? Oh shit, man. When I saw that when it first came out, man, I went just nuts. I still have my copy of that, and a lot of it's technically they weren't called Marvel, called theirs Treasury editions. These were tabloids, or they didn't have they were called DC Collect or whatever. But Marvels were called Treasuries. But I was telling you about my buddy who has every single Treasury ever printed by all.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that it's that expensive, huh? Holy shit! I think they've reprinted it, but when they reprinted it, like they did with that and Superman versus Muhammad Ali or whatever, right? They shrink it. They put it smaller,
right?
Which sucks, man. Wow, I didn't know it was that. I mean, I know treasuries are expensive, but
yeah, well, you can always look online to see who has what.
Yeah. I love my treasury and tabloid collection. Like I say, I'm missing some, but I went to a comic shop today where they had a sale on one. I almost, what was it? There was a treasury, and he's right there. Oh, there was one. I wanted that I don't have. I should have grabbed it because it was half price, but it was still half price. It was $20.
You should have got it, man.
Should have got it, man. God damn it! I was just
well, I tell you what, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I know the guy has it. I could go in there and get him this. I mean, even though it's a sale, he does it the first month, but I should have got it. It's one of the ones I do need. My problem when I go to comic shops, I forget to bring a damn list of what I need, which is good because even spend more, when I shouldn't.
That's true.
My goodness. But yeah, dude. All right, we'll say tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, Mr. Mark C. and I will count down our top 25 all-time favorite comic book artists. Now, incidentally, Mark, not the only Mark here, by the way. There's Ace, there's Mark, but Mark C in the chat. The great Mark C, as he's called by Doomcock and Nerdrotic, of course, Gary. Comic strip artists do count. In other words, I'm not leaking anything, but an Alex Raymond or Will Eisner or somebody like that, they count as well. Most of mine will be comic book artists, but comic strips, and that distinction, by the way, there was a time when comic strip artists looked down at their nose at comic book artists. They thought they were better.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh yeah. Yep. Let's see here. 20 says my number one. Yeah, I think I know your number one, I guess. I don't know, though, man. Look how surprised you were by my number one here tonight. 20 says my number one. So, yeah. We know each other's. This is sort of like, back on the old show back in 2012, we did this show that Flash and I were really proud of. It was our top 25 countdown of our favorite movie soundtracks.
Oh, shit.
And a buddy of mine produced it for me, and we had bits of the music and everything. You could get away with it on BTR. And we had I probably couldn't put it on YouTube because it would get in trouble, copyright strict. But there was no suspense what number one was going to be, and we both had the same number one, and our top 5 was just in different order. But right. Yeah, we were both like, "Oh God, we know what's coming." That's happened. Usually, we have very disparate tastes, but on soundtracks, we love movie soundtracks. We're still
there. You go.
Yeah, but anyway, we had a good time. We did every listeners imaginable, man. We didn't do comic book artists because he doesn't know comics as much. Right. So that's what I've never been able to do. I've never had anyone to do a comic book artist list with. So that'll be fun, But we did everything else, man. Movies, we did Star Trek episodes. I had to find somebody else to do Doctor Who episodes with because he doesn't watch Doctor Who. We did bad movies. We did good. Oh, Jobber's not here tonight, but Jobber, we promised last time Flash was on here on YouTube. Coming soon, Jobber, if you hear this, we are going to do our worst movies list. See, we did it before. We're doing it. It's like a sequel, a remake.
Right.
Because Superman movie soundtrack was in the top 5, but it wasn't number one. But I love it. Spoiler, number one was John Williams, though. Anyway, What was it? So we did our top. What was it? I don't know what was it. Forgot what I was. Man, see, I get myself distracted and I forget stuff. But anyway, totally forgot what I was telling you. But it wasn't. You can rest assured one thing: it wasn't important. Oh man. But yeah. Oh, Jobber. Yeah. So yeah, we did our worst movies before. This list might change though, because it's been almost like 6 years, whatever we've done more. And we have a criteria going on though. You can't do low-hanging fruit. I mean, you can't put Plan 9 from Outer Space or shit like that because it's too easy.
Right.
Everything will be MST3K stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Riff Tracks.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
So those movies are so bad that doesn't count. We wanted to make it like big budget Hollywood or things that don't have any excuse. Batman and Robin and garbage like that.
I understand. How about Garbage Pail Kids, the movie?
Yeah, of course I'd have to see it. I have to see it to count. Oh, what do you mean? No Last Jedi? Oh, Last Jedi's going on there. There was no Last Jedi back then. You probably just blew my number one, RR. There you go. You may have spoiled it.
Was that Jaws in 3D?
Jaws the Revenge was Flash's number one back then. I can't remember what my number one is. It might have been Man of Steel. I don't know.
Ooh.
Man of Steel. I hate Man of Steel.
Okay. All right.
I call it Man of Steel because I'm an a-hole. I apologize if you like it, man. I'm just saying I don't like it, but I mean, I hate it, but I can't see. It's called Mad Magazine Syndrome. I can't call anything by its proper name. I got to make a stupid name up for it.
Right. I miss Mad Magazine, man.
Yep, they officially went tits up a couple months ago.
Yeah, I know that, man. That's fucking horrible, man. Well,
Return of
they
the
were,
Swamp Thing.
yeah, they were starting to go woke, man. So
yeah, they were.
shit.
Return of the Swamp Thing is bad, man. But is it really one of the worst movies ever? There's some bad movies out. It is bad though.
Actually, I got the season of Swamp Thing that came out on the DC Universe
Yeah,
on
I watched
Blu-ray.
it. Yeah, I watched. Did you? I didn't like it. You like
Well,
it?
actually, I heard it was good. That's but I haven't watched the episodes yet.
You might like it, man. I hated it, and I was really disappointed. But you might like it. We're all different, and if you do, I hope you do. I mean, because if you didn't, that means you spent your money on something you don't like. So I hope you do like it. But
yeah,
I can't remember what my number one was, but it probably was that. It's weird. I have the list somewhere. One movie this is how things change, dude. There was a movie on my list, my worst list, way back when, because I did take a look at it not too long ago. That now I don't dislike at all. In fact, I like it. But I was so angry at this movie because this was before Disney destroyed Star Wars. Return of the Jedi was at number 25 on my worst list. I hated the movie that much, and now I like it because of Disney. Thank you, Disney. You made me. Because in 1983, let me tell you something. I wanted to annihilate the universe after I walked out of Return of the Jedi. I know most people love it, dude, and I love Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back's my favorite movie. So,
man,
let's see.
Yeah,
first half of Swamp Thing was good and went south. Yeah, exactly. The first half, that's
what I keep hearing.
The first Swamp Thing. Oh, he's talking about the show, and I hated every bit of it. I like the movie for a minute.
Yeah, he's talking about the series that I picked up. Yeah.
You might like it, though. You might like it, dude. That'd be cool. Hope you like it. I thought he was talking about the movie for a minute. Remember the old Wes Craven movie?
Oh yeah, I got those too. So
I thought,
and then the old TV show.
Huh? There was a TV show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the old TV show, right?
I thought they did a good job on the origin in the movie, like the first part of it, and then it got silly.
Yeah, wasn't that with Adrian Balboa?
Ooh, good God, was it ever?
Oh man.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, buddy. Whew. Good Lord, I loved her.
Escape from New York.
Oh, she was fantastic. Fucking John Carpenter married her, man. Can't blame him.
Right.
Yeah, lucky son bitch. But yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I really had a good time. I'm so glad you came to hang out with me, man.
Oh man, you know what, man? I told you last time I was going to come, man. So I
appreciate it.
Yeah, I couldn't let you down, man.
Well, dude, I do appreciate that, man. And everyone here, we're probably going to go run off now. Take enough of your valuable time, all of you. Let's see. Oh, he put something. Maybe you missed it, but Jerry Ordway's Power Shazam is getting collected. Yeah, I did see that. I posted that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. See, hey, Mark. See, I got the book and I got the whole collection. So I got the hardcover book.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, that shit is awesome in mint condition.
Yeah, Power Shazam coming out August 18th. Yeah, that's cool. I might get that Don Newton one as well. Yeah, I saw that Shazam 75 years of celebrating him.
Right.
Book real cheap online somewhere. I found a website with it cheap. I might pull the trigger on that one. Get that one, man.
Yeah. Shit. Shoot me the link, man. If it's cheap enough, I might be able to pull some strings and get it. So.
I think it's like $13 now on that. There's a site. I'm gonna go front and pull up I'll send you the link on Twitter. There's a site. I'm forgetting the name of it now. They got tons of trades and hardcovers for dirt cheap prices, dude. They got like Masterworks for $11.99. They got some DC archives.
Right.
For $11, $10, shit like that.
Damn, please do. Yeah, I would appreciate that.
I love those fuckers, man. I'll go try to find it. I can't remember the name of the site, but I'll ask a buddy of mine. He'll send me the link again.
All right.
RR, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, RR. Thank you, Mark C.
Mark C, my good buddy. Tomorrow we will reconvene. I got to remember to make my thing. I got to remember to make my list tonight, and I will. The heat is on, man. Usually I give myself a week to make a list. This is going to be fun. But Flash always tell me, "Oh, I had no problem making my list." I say, fuck you, man. It took me forever to make mine. I can't put anything in order. I want to keep changing shit around.
There you go. It'll be my first time seeing Mark C live.
Yes.
So shit, yeah.
We'll be here. You will probably be
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thanks, man. Anyway, Almighty Sports, my good friend Rich, thank you, buddy. Ace Cast Iron, I love you, my brother. Thanks for popping in if you're still here, bro. RR, let's see if I get everybody. Latino Slant, my buddy Polly popped in for a while. I thank him. Eastland Burkholder, thank you so much, my new good friend, for being here. The wonderful Tony, Wonder Woman, who's going to be killing me soon, so I may not be able to show up tomorrow. If I'm dead, you'll all know why. But I don't know. I apologize if anyone else popped in that I can't remember. I am so sorry. But I thank you all for hanging with me. And of course, a gigantic thank you to Mr. 24/7, a gentleman and a scholar.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here, man. I enjoyed last time and I enjoyed this time. So, thank you for having me. And thank you for everybody for showing up.
Yes, thank you all. Thanks a lot, everyone. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. My name ain't whatever it was. Yeah, Wonder Woman's. Yeah, again. But if you see like dead air, she'll have gotten me. That's it. Just play the bagpipe. Have Scotty play the Amazing Grace bagpipes, and have me shot out of a photon torpedo on the Genesis planet. And with me, it'll be a big photon torpedo, so you're gonna have to, do something. But thanks everyone. It's so weird. 24. I'm usually in my old show. I had intro out music. They don't have it on YouTube, so it feels weird just cutting off like that. But I am. Well, we used to do it sometimes. All right, buddies. Thank you so much, everyone. We are out of here, and I have let's see here.